if if our skin can be considered our person and our papers are supposed to be our person, hey, howdy tribe. Then I don't understand how you know it's not considered bigotry, persecution, and profiling, and all sorts of stuff like that to like try to force somebody to have documents. Um, and these things aren't just they were never supposed to say, oh well, for our safety we want to see some ID. um, for our safety is never supposed to negate human rights. The United States of America or the USA or whatever the corporation, nation, or union was always supposed to be for human rights. Never, it was never supposed to be against human rights. The whole principle behind the English wanting to find a place where they could build their own country separate from the English rule was that they were supposed to be building a more better place to live. Was the whole idea. Okay, so if it was just an idea, that was supposed to be the idea. Um, whether ever came to fruition, whether it ever was set, whether it was ever ratified or codified or whatever you want to call it, that naturalized or nationalized. I don't know what you would want to call it, but I'm just saying the whole idea was supposed to be for human rights, and well, the right to have documents would also be the right to conceal documents. Um, so you know, but honorable men uphold rights. Scoundrels disobey rights. Scoundrels deprive rights and limit rights. Honorable people uphold others' rights even before their own. Like some people set their life aside to defend others. That's called honor. Um, you might not even agree with the other people that you're defending, but you may step in naturally just because a feeling came over you that you said, "Hey, that's not right," and you jumped. You hopped to uh, honorably defending somebody that you don't even know, like, or understand. That's called honor. Concealing because of malintent, presumably. Uh, that's another. That's basically based on somebody's feelings. Malintent. You can't prove that I would be concealing my documents for malintent. Um, you would you would be that you can't presume that I would be holding them for malintent. The only way I could do malintent is if I did malintent. I can't presume malintent. Sorry, but people aren't even dishonorable. They are unhonorable. Yeah, some, the tribe, not all, you know. Hey, Chambers of Logic, good to see you, whoever you are. I'm not sure I've seen you around. Team DLZ, that's cool. Good job. These are their standing presumptions. Customers agree. Radical customers agree. Yeah, they've been learned to agree. They've been taught to agree. But no matter how long something no matter how long something is mistreated, it's still you still retain that. No matter how long a right is mistreated, that right you still retain that right from the time of its conception, not from the time that they realized it was a right that they were mistreating. These are their standing presumptions. Oh yeah, I already read that part. Sorry. So how's everybody doing over there at DLZ, Chambers of Logic? I haven't been by there for quite a long time. I've been attempting to do some things, like I've been trying to defend myself lawfully by way of writ, but there's obscurantists. The court clerk is acting like they don't have to file my proper papers, my law papers and other proper papers. The court clerk is taking it upon herself to think that she doesn't have to file. And I haven't been by there in a while myself. Oh, okay. That's, understandable, reasonable, and natural. The people are prescribed the precise amount of tyranny they will tolerate. Yeah, I'm sure of it. That's what they say. If the world was coming after your family, you'd defend the shit out of that family if you had a chance. That's why I don't understand why Trump thinks he can get away with what he's doing right now with the policies, procedures, the management of the administration. War criminal. He's about to get in trouble. Fucking that's Geneva Convention shit. He's fucking about to see a tribunal. He's fucking basically violating human rights in the name of a corporation, the USA corporation. He's trying to save that corporation money. He's actually spent more money, but they're making it into a police stadium worse than any so-called American can ever think of. They're about to have their billions and billions of dollars worth of police force, and it's going to be separate. It's going to be privatized. They're calling it federal right now, but what do we see on all the cop watch videos and auditing videos? All the federal agents, they think the fucking buildings are private. They think they're like, oh, how would you feel if I went and stood outside your house recording your house? It's like, we've been telling them for like the last 10 years, this is not your house. That's a bad comparison. This is a public building, not a private building. All this stuff, this is what we've had to say time and time again. Measurable fact. What measurable fact? The tribe? Are you asking me a question? Which measurable fact, or are you saying describe? What are you trying to? I can't remember some of the points I was making about Trump being a war criminal. So maybe you're asking me what measurable fact I have for that. I'm not sure. Hello to the 4 viewers is what it says on my side. It says I have 4 viewers. I seen a video where there was a teenage Hispanic male, and they were riding in a car. There was probably 4 or 5 Hispanics in this car, and these ICE agents, they pulled over the car and were pulling people out of the car. An arrest is where they fucking basically turn you around and put the handcuffs on you. Is how it usually has been happening for like the last 40 years. But these ICE agents were basically roughing them up for a time. Tyranny tolerated equals tyranny prescribed. Measurable fact. Okay, that's legit. Yeah, well, these ICE agents, yeah, this kid, he was recording, and he was born and raised in the United States of America, or what we thought was the USA, America, um, maybe the land, but this corporation, the USA, that's acting, who's hired their little ICE federal thugs, they had this kid. He was Hispanic. He's Hispanic, but he was born and raised in the USA, whatever, like what the average human would understand or know is USA. And that's when they basically roughed him up too, and arrested him, or detained him, arrested him. They forced his phone off and everything, and he was an American the whole time. So obviously they're violating rights. There's no question they're violating rights, and I just feel like this time is a very evil time. The United States of America, or the USA, or America, was never supposed to be a rights violator. They were supposed to be the best at upholding rights, and I still believe a lot of people have that spirit in them. Otherwise, people wouldn't even be out there holding their cameras and trying to make sure if tyranny happens, it's recorded. That's why I believe that a lot of America still has that spirit to uphold rights and not break rights or violate rights. Yeah. Sounds like somebody's running a goddamn vacuum that's hella loud. Or maybe that's a hydraulic pump of some sort operating. But why would they run it for that long? Making that hum. I don't know if you guys can hear that hum, but it's annoying my ass. But I don't usually get annoyed by that type of stuff. I guess I'm making a live video. I'm just chit chatting to myself, obviously. It'd be nice, I like to thank you for chatting back. Let's see here. There's this. This. Hello, Carol Funk. Good to see you. You're awesome. Good protesting out there. Good stance. Good stand. Good square to stand on, Carol. You're a hero. You're one of my heroes. I made this live right now because I'm pretty frightened about what I'm seeing out of the earth, out of the world that we've been surrounded by for like the last, 30 to 40 years, 40 to 50 years, 50 to 60 years. I thought we defeated the fucking rights violators and the Nazis and anybody else of the like, the Stalins and this and that. But I don't know if we have. Hey, Joko, thank you for coming in to say hi. It's an ebb and a flow. There's people work for something over a lot of years, and then they get what they worked for, or maybe even a semblance. Hey, Mile High, good to see you. Thank you for coming by to say hi or to speak. It's an ebb and a flow where people try for like rights for maybe 30, 40 years, and then they get what they're asking for or a semblance, and then it plateaus off and it stagnates. And then then somehow tyranny seems to regrow and take a stronghold again. And then then that goes for about 30 or hopefully not 30 or 40 years, hopefully not, but the tyranny, works itself for a while until people had so much of enough that they finally decide to just fucking stop it, by any means necessary is the term. But then, you work to stop it for 30 to 40 years sometimes, like the Nazis, it took them. I mean, I'm sure, I have a feeling the Nazi story was a lot longer than just the 30 years, or I mean, what was it, the 30s through basically the late 20s through the mid to late 40s. But I mean, they still haven't even gone away. That fucking shit's reformed. I mean, a lot of the scientists got taken to the United States. The United States itself was a little Nazi sympathetic prior to World War II or entering it. It's already known that the Russians and others, Europeans, really did the brunt of the taking out of the Nazis, and then the United States just swooped in at the end and basically was supposed to be, by story, a real strong, powerful force that helped end the Nazi regime, party, or whatever you want to call it. Hey, Jack off Jack, good to see you. Down with Zionism. Yeah. There's so many differences there. There's a difference between a Jew and an Israeli. There's a difference between a Zionist and a non-Zionist when it comes to Jews. It's a very scary world that we're living in, where where simple words are being used as a defense to perpetrate some of this shit. It's just like the cops saying, well, for our safety, we're going to use that word for our safety to perpetrate all the fucking heinous shit that we ever do. And we're going to still try to consider ourselves the good guys, even though we're doing all this heinous shit, but we're using the words for our safety as a shield to perpetrate these acts. It's the same thing that's going on in Israel. Israel versus Palestine, Israel versus Syria, Israel versus Iran and Iraq, Israel versus Saudi Arabia, Israel versus Egypt. It's these places are just a spot on earth that it doesn't look like they're getting overran right now, but for thousands of years this has been a struggle. So the overrunning is a happening. It's not something that just ends, but they're trying to right now. They're trying to like Donald Trump tells Netanyahu, just end it, or something to that effect. Recently in a news article I seen, I guess Trump told the Israelis to just finish the job or something like this. It's like, oh, you sick motherfucker, finish the job. What's that mean? Like fucking just wipe out the whole Gaza Strip, the only piece of 2 miles wide and fucking 30 miles long that over 2 million people have to live on, segregated upon there by the very people that said that they were the persecuted. Hey, Juggalasses. Good to see you guys. All you guys in the chat are hella cool. Talk amongst yourselves. I mean, I couldn't ask for cooler ass people. There's Joko, Carol Funk, Mile High, Jack Off Jack, Juggalasses, and the Tribe that I know of. Only thing cool, the other cool people, Chambers of Logic, I'm not sure who that is, but that's cool that they're here. Hopefully they are still here. But anyways, that'd be cool to have like Eagle Nick and freaking JC News Now. They'd be awesome to talk with, and see all you guys chatting in the chat together. You guys are a lot of the same type of people, especially some of the type of people I look for on YouTube. Brother type channels. I'm not perfect, and I'm like a poor. I've been broke poor basically my entire life. So I was raised by a single mother, 4 children. My dad went to prison. Basically, I went to trade school when I was 16, and got my carpentry vocation, level 8 carpentry vocation. But at the same time, that's all a struggle for me. You know what I mean? That's all part of my fucking life. But, I'm just saying, I've never, I had a stepdad that was a cop. That's another part of let alone I was a poor white, or whatever the mainstream teaching teaches us that we are. I had a stepdad that was a cop, so basically, yeah. I grew up in a Hispanic neighborhood, and I grew up skateboarding and wrestling and playing football with my friends and peers that were, for the most part, Hispanic, some Native American, some, some white or whatever, considered white or whatever, Caucasian or something, whatever. I hate these terms. It's like that NoFX song. Don't call me white. Don't call me white. Something like that. I mean, it's a totally weird song. I mean, it's like a racial song. I mean, fucking, it's about not calling somebody white. The band NoFX is a badass band. It was their CD. They called their CD. What is it? White trash, 2 Hebes, and a bean. That's pretty badass. So there was some Irish, Caucasian, Scandinavian type male, and then a Hispanic male, and then 2 Jewish males, Hebrew males. It's so weird because we've been taught to think that since we were born in the USA, we're United States citizens by blood or some shit. It's like, no, the USA is a country. You can't be the United States citizen by blood, or that's like it's like saying you're Irish by blood. No, you were born in Ireland, I guess, but that doesn't make you Ireland by blood. You can't be Shoshone or Paiute by blood. Those are tribes. You can be part of the Shoshone tribe. It'd be like saying that the people that are members of the bar association are, if they were born, like their daddy and their mommy was the little bar licensed credited attorneys, then they were born into the bar license, so they must be the bar by blood. It's like, no, that's not how life works. We're all humans. There's only one of these motherfucking Earths, and we need that motherfucker. Elon Musk alone doesn't need it. Bill Gates alone doesn't need it. Fucking Mark Zuckerberg alone doesn't need it. These dudes seem to think that they got enough money to try to fucking act like, oh, I'm going to spend like $1 billion to try to go to Mars. But if my rocket just fucking pings off to the left and accidentally takes out Houston, we were trying to go to Mars, Jack. That's the type of things that they think that they can fucking do. It's disgusting. What's called incest? Jack off Jack. Hell yeah. Subscribe to Joko. Subscribe to fucking Jack off Jack. Subscribe to Juggalassus. Subscribe to Mile High Community Channel. I'm sure you guys are. Subscribe to Carol Funk. None of us are. Good to see you, Jug. Hey, Howie. Hell yeah. Hello, Carol. Seeing your activism. That's badass, Mile High. I'm glad that you've seen Carol's activism. Probably means that you come, or she comes up in your algorithm. You probably are subscribed to her. Hopefully. She's from Denver. She's Colorado like you. But you probably already knew that. She's fucking badass. She's highly popular. Ever since this ICE shit and this struggle with Palestine, and I think that a lot of people that support Hispanic heritage and Palestinians, Iranians, and other Islamic people, I think that we're getting shunned by some stuck-up people that are like the Trump lovers. I don't really think that there's a lot of them. I think that there's less Trump lovers than we think, and they're probably a big-time minority. Just to let you guys know, the people who like Trump and all that shit, they're probably like a highly minority. They're not as powerful as they want to believe. But they all, as soon as you start talking about, like if they tell you get out of this country, or you tell them get out of the country, they believe that they'll just get their guns and destroy you, because they believe that the liberals are mostly Democrat people that vote against guns and shit. Well, yeah, that's a majority of some of them and everything, but a lot of the Democrats, they own guns and stuff too. They were like in the military. They understand guns and understand the usage and the need. But that's not all of the Democrats. And yes, a lot of the Democrats, they vote for anti-gun stuff. But at the same time, it just shows. What I'm trying to say is that it's not even about guns or no guns. It's about the arrogance of the radical right-wing. They call themselves Republicans, but it's the big R. They don't know anything about a republic. They just call themselves Republicans. That's not anything to do with a Republican form of government or anything. That most of them don't hardly even read the Constitution. Like Trump, he doesn't know shit about human rights, fucking equal protection. He thinks that his money can buy him protection, which the world is showing us evilly right now that, hey, he might be right. All of his money surely could go against my broke ass. And that's kind of why I bring up the fact that I'm broke and poor. I was raised broke and poor, single mother. My daddy was no oil tycoon or real estate tycoon, where I get to fucking, be a fucking self-centered fucking creepy fucking. When you're rich, you can just grab them by private parts that they don't want you to grab them by, because you got the money. You pay them the hush money to shut them up. Have like 2 or 3 fucking lawyers and shit, maybe 12 lawyers. You don't like that one, you can just fire that one, and that's basically what Trump's proved to do his entire freaking life. And all of a sudden, he's supposed to be this Lord and Savior that's going to help the mostly, for the most part, backwoods Appalachian fucking Arkansas, Alabama type folks. That's the Republican red state Trump voter lover thing that would be willing to, like, oh, you're brown and you're Mexican. I don't like you. I want you out of my country. Your country? What do you mean your fucking country? Because it's all of our fucking country. Don't fucking play that shit. Play fucking human rights, not fucking corporate fucking greed. How about that one for me, folks? Both sides are together to start chaos. I have to work tomorrow. Good to see you. Are well. Good night, all. Well, yeah, am I well though, Mile High? Where am I, Mile High? You're gonna be going to bed in your home tonight. You're gonna be going to bed in your fucking house. When you want to go out cop watching and activism and all that shit, you can hit your streets. You know, I can't even go fucking home. I can't go up in the mountains I love, my spiritual stomping grounds. I can't go drink from the several springs. I can't fucking go where I grew up because I'm being fucking, the county's using the county tools against me. Like, what if I had my fucking jail? The motherfucking guys, I got them on video actually being criminal to me. They've converted my rights into crimes. Like, I see a fucking million people on fucking Long Island Audit's back right now. Fucking, there's like, you go to his chat room, all the motherfuckers are in this chat on his live. Fucking, oh, we're here to have your back, Long Island Audit. That's awesome. Don't stop. But at the same fucking time, October 22nd is when I was unlawfully shoved by a deputy. I was brave enough to fucking shove the deputy back in defense. I didn't walk to the deputy 15 yards to push him. He walked 15 yards to push me. I was not under arrest. I was not under detainment. That means that he did police brutality against me. They charged me with fucking assault on a battery on a peace officer. That case had been dismissed. I had to fight like hell. I had to make writs of special appearance. I had to make affidavits of change of status. I had to put lawful writs into the law courts. I had to file a estoppel, a fucking default motion to where they had to prove probable cause or default, and they defaulted. It took me. I was already gone from the United States 9 or 10 months by the time I got that. By the time I got that paperwork in. Hey, what's the matter, you? Good to see you. Be careful. The hand that is patting you on the back is holding a knife. I have to work tomorrow. Which hand is patting me on the back? I'd like to know that one. Nobody hardly pats my ass on the back. You have to go too, Carol Funk. Okay, good night. Hey, Brandon Mitchell. Good night, Howie. Good night, Mile High Community Channel. I was going to ask you if you were Howard County Observer or something, but you're probably not. Howard something. BM. Juggleasses. Had to crash. Good night. Yeah, it's 9:12. So it's probably 11:12, huh, Carol? Have a good night. You know, maybe I shouldn't have tried to start my live at like 8 o'clock. I had a lot of cool people in here. I'd like to talk to you guys a lot, you know. I'd like a bunch of Americans to go protest the same fucking place I was protesting when they fucking converted my rights into a crime and fucking stifled my public participation. They're like, oh yeah, fuck. We're isolating this motherfucker. We're isolating. What is it called? It's called suppressing all of the evidence against us. Nobody gives a fuck about him. Nobody's calling in about it. Nobody's fucking protesting where he fucking got stolen from the streets. Everybody's just letting it fucking go. Shit, nobody even gives a fuck about that motherfucker. Why should we stop? They got a Warrant Wednesday out in the Nye County Sheriff's Department for me. It's called Warrant Wednesday. where they try to say that I got a warrant for my arrest for these 4 charges, but basically I've already got it on paper that fucking they have no fucking probable cause. But if it wasn't for the obscuranting of a fucking court clerk that won't file my lawful papers, as soon as my lawful papers go through, the fucking district attorney had already acquiesced. The district attorney had already failed to provide probable cause. About 9 months ago, for 9 months, the court clerk has been lodging my paperwork instead of filing my paperwork, and I have the right to have my paperwork filed. In fact, there's laws in the United States that says that as soon as those paperworks are turned over to the public official, those paperworks are as good as filed. So in fact, they've already been filed, but who's in charge of the courts? Who's in charge of the places, the clerk's office? Who's in charge of it? Nye County Administration, Nye County Sheriff's Office, and the Nye County Justice Court System. I got my paperwork in there. The district attorney has already failed to show probable cause, which in the 15 days that Nevada legislature set for the fucking statute of limitations on fucking from the time the fucking motion is filed to the time they respond to that motion, they have 10 days in Nevada. I gave them 15 days, 5 extra days. They failed to respond to my motion. It was a default motion for show of probable cause. They didn't show probable cause. They defaulted their claim. It's an estoppel by acquiescence. I should have already won. My paperwork's in there. I've already got the district court, the battery upon a peace officer has already been dismissed by estoppel, by default. On that same motion, I filed that motion with the Justice Court and with the District Court. I had one charge in District Court. That was battery upon a peace officer. That charge has already been dismissed because the District Court clerk filed my motion. The fucking Justice Court clerk is obscuranting. I didn't use an attorney. I fucking discontinued whatever attorney they were trying to appoint. We are supposed to have the lawful right to do this shit. I don't know what time when I wake up. What time? Cool. What am I missing here, guys? Good evening, Juggalasses. Joko. I'll be boycotting Casey's General Store tomorrow for trespassing me for filming police from a public sidewalk. Good job, Brandon Mitchell. I'll keep an eye out tomorrow in case you go live or whether you post a video about your boycott, your protest. I don't know. What are you going to do? Hold a sign that says boycott the store? That's awesome, Joko. You beat your charge, huh? That's good. I need the people's help. I need people that are like, interested in fucking standing up for people's rights, that know that fucking others' rights are your rights. I need those type of people's help. I need them to either voice their concerns with the county that says, hey, leave Willis alone, or go protest where they kidnapped me out of the fucking town. Go to the town where I'm from and protest and fucking make it seem like fucking, because what they did was they fucking stifled my public participation. They knew I was the protester and I was the camera guy. So if they could fucking maliciously prosecute me, they got me maliciously prosecuted on stalking for one instance. That's not even a course of conduct. I recorded the entire fucking thing while I was standing in public, yelling at the public official, calling him a cocksucking bitch ass boy, everything I'm lawfully allowed to do, not breaking any laws. I was recording him in public, using my voice in public, standing in public, and recording the public official in public. Those are all lawful. They charged me with stalking. That's why they don't have any probable cause, because I have it on video where the deputy district attorney said, yeah, that's the video I used to charge you from. So basically he got my video from May 30th where I was protesting the public service agent outside my house. And he used that video to charge me with stalking, even though that video doesn't show a stalking. That video shows someone with lawful authority to protest, lawful authority to use his camera, lawful authority to be in public, lawful authority to use his voice, lawful authority to criticize his public officials, lawful authority to record his public officials. That's what that video shows. It shows a guy with lawful authority, me, exercising my rights, and they're trying to convert those rights into stalking. This is what they did to Lane Myers, but they did this way back in 2023, 2022 to me. So, where's all the fucking people that fucking blew up Lane Myers' channel with fucking so many thousand subscribers? I'm proud of the little subscribers I have. They're the realest motherfuckers on YouTube. The subscribers I have are the ones that would put up with my ass, with my voice, with my protest. People see my protest where I go around the town. I go around my little ass town. It's a little tiny town. I say, welcome to North Korea, where they don't want you to hold your hand like this. Welcome to North Korea, where they don't want you to hold your hand like this. Okay, it's a given. The United States isn't North Korea, right? Right on by the cop like that and see. Eric Brandt and Abity Irizarry got pulled over for doing this one. Charged. Had to beat their fucking case. How many other people? Chuck Bronson gets pulled over all the fucking time for either using a camera or fucking yelling out his window or fucking flipping off a cop. Juries are rigged, exactly. That's why you don't take it to a jury trial. You fucking argue probable cause from day one. As soon as the first time you see the judge, you say, "What probable cause do you have?" And they'll say something to the effect, "Well, in this state, probable cause is determined by the judge instead of having a probable cause hearing." And then you say, "Oh, well, so the judge proved, or the judge decided there was enough probable cause to charge me with a crime. Let's see that probable cause, Your Honor. You know, I want that probable cause written on paper within 10 days." The judge is the one that fucking decided there was probable cause, so I want to see that probable cause on a piece of paper written by the judge. You know, he needs to be signing to the probable cause that he determined. Otherwise, there should always be what's known as a probable cause hearing, and that probable cause hearing should be the very first hearing you ever see. They try to do a bail reduction hearing. It's like, bro, I never wanted no bail. So that's not to say that I haven't been bailed out. I use bail, you know, if I have to. I'm just saying, you don't want to do bail. You don't want to do bail. As soon as you get arrested, you need to demand that you go directly before a magistrate. And then you want to, as soon as you see the magistrate, you don't want to talk about, "Oh, I didn't do it, I'm not guilty, or I'm innocent," or, you know, you don't want to be doing no pleadings. You don't want it to be an arraignment hearing. You don't want it to be a probable cause hearing. You want it to be you want it to be a probable cause hearing. You don't want it to be a bail reduction hearing or an arraignment. You want it, the very first hearing, all you want to do is talk to the judge about probable cause. If they say like in this the state of the agency known as the state of Nevada has a rule in their procedural rules that says that uh, within 15 days after probable cause has been determined, there's supposed to be a preliminary hearing. So within 15 days of probable cause being determined, there's supposed to be a preliminary hearing. And in the state of Nevada, if you're from there, if you're from the in or around Nevada, the agency known as, you will know that they try to give you an arraignment hearing directly after they've determined probable cause. So if they try to do that, if they tell you that the probable cause has been determined, you instantly say, okay, we need an arraignment within 15 days. I mean, not an arraignment, a preliminary hearing, evidentiary hearing is what you want within 15 days after probable cause has been determined, supposedly. And then they'll try to say that, well, the next hearing is an arraignment. You remind them that you have to, that they have to have a evidentiary hearing within 15 days. So they better get that arraignment done within those. With they better, if they want to arraign you before the evidentiary hearing. The evidentiary hearing has to be within 15 days after determining probable cause. So they better be quick on getting you to the arraignment. Now you're talking an arraignment process and an evidentiary hearing within 15 days after probable cause has been determined. That's quick and speedy. If they cannot freaking prove that they have probable cause at that evidentiary hearing, you need to be writing the motion to motion of default to fucking you don't even give a shit about what hearing's next. You just want to write the motion of default, telling them that they have 15 days to show probable cause or default, and then they have 15 more business. They have not even business days. It's 15 days. It's not even business days. It's 15 days, including weekends and holidays. It's actually 10 days. 10 days, but 15 days. I gave the state of Nevada 15 days. That was 5 more days than the state of Nevada asked for. They asked for 10 days. So basically, I gave them 15 days. They failed to show probable cause, therefore defaulting. It's estoppel by default, estoppel by acquiescence, tacit, more than tacit consent. They faulted. They defaulted. So basically, you could be done with your case within 30 days if you did it right, if you were so right. And that's if the court clerks filed your paperwork lawfully like they're supposed to without obscuranting. Because if the court clerk fails to file your paperwork, you have to go through the motions of filing a motion to compel with a higher court. And then the higher court is supposed to compel the lower court to file the fucking paperwork. Which there's case laws. I could look them up for you. There's case laws that say as soon as the papers are filed, they're as good, or as soon as the papers are turned into, like, notice to agent is notice to primary. Notice to primary is notice to agent. So if you give the water lady, which is a government agent, your paperwork, under rules of full disclosure, they're supposed to turn those paperworks over to the administration. So basically, it's called full disclosure, So then, those paperworks are as good as filed, even if you turn those paperworks over to the water lady or like the dog catcher or the local deputy. Court clerks, documents, As good as filed. Sorry, I'm searching something right now. If I can. Oh yeah, that's one of the things that you should know about court clerks. They're ministerial. Okay, they're not part of any kind of decision making. They're merely ministerial duties. I can't remember. I have all these documents on my phone. I'm using to on my phone. I'm using to do the live on the StreamYard. Is the phone that has all my documents. Menstrual too. Yeah, yeah, they're menstrual too. Menstrual. Is failure to forward paperwork a dereliction of duty? Yeah, it should be the failure to file. You know, their one job is to file paperwork. They're not supposed to make any decisions on the paperwork. They're not supposed to be like, oh well, I don't think that this is proper paperwork, so I'm just going to lodge this in his file instead of file it with the court. Because you have a right to your defense, Juggleasses. So basically, if you file a motion with the court, that's a lawful paper. It's known as a proper paper, and basically they have a duty to file your motions and other proper papers. Your lawful writs and other proper papers is what it's called. You know, because basically a motion is a writ, and a writ, you know, is basically filing what you want to file. Um, I've learned a lot over the last couple of years. Since 2002, I've learned quite a bit, and I've had some epiphanies. And no longer will I use my voice to protest to the direct people that are fucking with me. I'm gonna use written paperwork, even though I don't really like writing paperwork at all. It's not fun for me. I have comprehension issues and learning disabilities. So basically, I have a hard time filing paperwork and writing paperwork. But I have my help. You know, I have people that help me, which is hella good. You always want to have people that help you. That's basically. Well, that's not why I started this live. I started this live to talk about how unhumane ICE is. I was gonna ask you guys, like, if I start fucking with your family, how long would you put up with me? If I came around and started fucking around, like trying to grab your family and fucking all sorts of shit, how long would you put up with me? Not very fucking long. So I don't understand why these ICE agents and people that are pushing ICE, they must think that they're pretty fucking powerful. You know, they're fucking with a lot of families. They're fucking with a lot of friends of families. They think that just brown people care about, they think that just the Hispanics. No, there's a lot of people that care about what's happening right now. Even though there's a lot of heartless bastards fucking laughing about this shit, saying ice, ice baby and all this other fucking shit. I cannot wait until it's their fucking family, those ones that say ice, ice baby. But at the same time, what is that supposed to be fucking wishing some badness on my family? I wouldn't want it to fucking happen to my family. That's why I don't want it to fucking happen to Hispanic people. We're talking about public areas. We're not talking about private areas. That was the beauty of the United States of America, is that they honored the public. If you agree with taking people out of public just because they're brown or different nationality or different creed or color, different religion, you are really adversarial to the idea of public. You really don't like public. You don't care about public. You're not trying to be public. You're not trying to have public. You're just trying to stifle public. You're trying to deprive public. That's basically all the public service agents right now. Shit, Bay Area Transparency, he's badass, man. He comes across these all the time. Hey, Kinetic Customs and Racing, good to see you. Hey, Christopher Real, good to see you. Gotta post the link. Yeah. It's badass to see you, Kinetic Customs and Racing, because last time we talked was basically on a couple comments about Bob Anna. You know, you might not think it, Kinetic Customs Racing, but I'm a fucking dirt bike jockey, bro. I'll scrub off the road down into the wash at fucking 69 miles an hour. Fucking on this side, you're flying across the Nevada desert, and on this side, there's a fucking 10-foot uphill rolling over the top of a 40-yard fucking pass down into a 40 fucking yard downhill into a wash. And fucking when I'm coming across the desert at about 69 miles an hour, and fucking come to that 10 foot to 10 yard uphill, I just throw the fucking bike and then fucking leave the ground on this side of the hill. Over the top of the fucking hill, traveling at 69 miles an hour is probably, cover the distance of about 30 yards, and then 30 to 40 yards down into the fucking wash on the other side. Badass. All pigs do is look for any chance to be violent and back up the violence with fraud. Exactly. Can they impose Sharia law? No. The Constitution of the United States of America, based on human rights, the Bill of Rights, and other supporting documents, is the law of this land. The tribe. So how are they gonna practice Sharia law when the law of this land is constitutional federal republic rights? Constitution of a true federal republic. A republic is for the people, by the people. In a republic, public service is a public trust and shall be held for the sole benefit of the public and the people. The public is the people, not the public service agents. The public service agents are the servants of the public. The people are the public. The public service agents can't be the servants of the public and the public at the same time. That they would be serving two masters. It would be a double-headed snake. They would have to cut off one head to serve the other. Yeah, the tribe. We know that the fucking country's broken. We know that it's not a country. We know that there's a fucking merchant log. That we know that the corporations are fucking acting like their fucking money can buy them freedom. We know that they've canceled out equal protection under the law a long time ago. When fucking the first time that the full American public believed that they could fucking do what's that shit called when they fucking take big parts of land to like give it to the fucking Navy base. It's it's what's it called? It's called oh, if you can. So why not Sharia? No more criminals. Yeah, there's aspects of Sharia law I like. The only thing about Sharia law, though, the tribe is that he who has no thorn in their eyes, let him cast the first stone. He who has not sinned, let him cast the first stone. The tribe. That's the part about Sharia law, you know. Okay, that the you know, because any good Muslim will tell you that fucking they believe fully in Jesus and that Jesus saves upon Jesus' return. Probably defeat the shaitan, the Satan. The system may be broken, but if it's not repaired, what will replace it? KKK, Sharia. Yeah, that's why the Declaration of Independence says that when the form of government becomes destructive to your rights, you have a duty to overturn or to abolish that form of government and replace it with reform it or replace it with a new one. And I already know that fucking there's a lot of good that they're just overlooking. You know, like there's provisions of law set to regulate his or her official conduct right now on the books, but the people are too stupid to say, "Hey, I know exactly right here where this provision of law set to regulate your official conduct is, and you're violating that law, that provision right now." And then, you know, maybe if I tell them that, are three of you on my panel going to be able, or three of you in the chat going to be able to fucking back me up and say, yeah, I know where that provision of law is too. Says that you're supposed to not even get a paycheck. You're not supposed to get financial gain that would be in replace for your conscientious performance of your duty. As soon as all of a sudden that started getting enforced because the majority of people knew about it, instead of the majority of people not knowing about it, all of a sudden many of them would quit because they would be like, shit, I'm not doing this for free. The whole reason why I do this is because I get $180,000 a year. I do it for the pay. I don't do it for the honor. All of a sudden your swamp would be fucking taken, your swamp would fucking limit itself. All of a sudden, the only people that would sign up to be public service agents are the ones that are actually your brothers, your sons, and your fathers that actually want to see your fucking neighborhoods fucking taken care of and protected. Actual defenders that aren't doing it for the money, but doing it because their mom lives in that neighborhood, because their daughter lives in that neighborhood. Women won't even fucking join. A true constitution, a true defense of a true constitutional republic. It would be man's work. It's a true man's work. I'm not being sexist or misogynistic here. I'm talking about if you're not even getting fucking paid to do it, and some scoundrel could come and deprive you of your life. Are you really going to do that? Are you gonna swear to an oath to uphold the public trust? You know, fuck no, you're not. You might. That'd be a badass. I would serve along any honorable motherfucker if it was true. If it was true serving, if nobody got paid for it, I already do that. I'm the person in my town that fucking shit. There's tyranny happening. I fucking go and fucking pick up my camera and go use my voice. If you're fucking like beating on my fucking neighbor and there's no probable cause to beat on him and it's not in defense, it's in attack or fucking some sort of a fence. Better not let me sneak up behind you. I'm gonna put a stop to you by force, physical force. It would be too hard to stop. It would be too hard to stop myself if like ICE was grabbing one of my fucking friends and I knew that they grew up with me and went to school with me. Like they moved here when their mother brought them here when they were 2, but they've been going to school with me since we were 7. And some motherfucking ICE agent grabs my friend. It's gonna be hard for me to not pick up the biggest object and fucking end the motherfucker. It'd go against my principle, my honor, my person, my people. Who I am as a people. That's why that's why the local government, that's why the government around my home doesn't like me. Because they know for a fact I'm more fucking honorable than them. They don't do it for honor, they do it for money. When the fucking county brings my, it's not even my friend, he's a guy that lives in the fucking town. They brought him a paper that says that he has to put up a 6-foot opaque fence. And it has to be, how do you put up a 6-foot opaque fence? Like that's what they said. They said a 6-foot opaque fence. That means that they're going to try to make him not put up an 8-foot fence. It can't be a green fence. It can't be a fucking red fence. It can't be stained. It can't be stained wood. Right? If you fucking totally believed that shit, no, fuck no. He brought me that paper, you know. He's like, Willis, what do I do about this? What is this? And then I sat there for like fucking hours fucking on my computer with him sitting next to me trying to show him all sorts of property law, you know. Tried to show him all sorts of maxims of law. Tried to show him all sorts of fucking property rights. I showed him what they try to do to you illegally over top of your law. You know, what to be prepared for, what things that they might say to try to buffalo you right out of your own fucking property. And then I tried to fucking tell people around my town, fucking, we need to be standing together. You know, we need to. It doesn't mean fucking you have to be violent. It means that fucking when they come, everybody shows up. Not even to the fucking town board meeting. Yeah, maybe a town board meeting, but there's a whole lot of protesting before the meeting even starts. Everybody entering that motherfucker's hearing nothing but fucking yelling and cussing and swearing about fucking, oh, fuck, hell no, we won't go. Oh, hell no, we won't go. Fucking, you know. Or it could be chain link with those slats, though, through. Yeah. Yeah, it means not chain link. It means like maybe that roofing that's fucking like clear, but it's like almost like bathroom glass. You know, maybe that's what they mean by 6-foot opaque fence. Build it out of 4x4s and 2x4s, and then put that fucking roofing on it that's clear but not clear. That's along the lines of them trying to tell you what the fucking how many cars you can have in your driveway, or that you can't have your '69 Cadillac in your driveway because it has a couple rust spots on it, and they don't like that. No, motherfucker, I like the patina. I'm not getting rid of my '69 Cadillac. I don't give a fuck about your code enforcement feelings. That's not enforcing the law. That's feelings enforcement. I don't give a shit what size of fence you feel I should have. Fuck you. That's why I spray painted "Eat My Ass, You Liberal Yankee Whores" on the side of my house. It's not my message. I'm neither liberal or conservative. I'm neither Democrat or Republican. It was Mr. Porter's message. I just knew that message would be the one that tickled people's buttholes so much, because the people in my town think that I'm the liberal, when really they're the motherfucking liberals trying to tell people what to do with their property. Conservatives live and let live. Conservatives are frugal. Conservatives are willing to build their fence out of pallets because they know the material is cheap. Even if they can afford fucking $1 million fence, they know that the pallet material is cheap, so they build their fence out of pallets, even if they could spend $1 million on their fence. That's why I don't register my automobile, because fucking even if I could afford to register my automobile every time, I can't morally afford it. It goes against my fucking religious beliefs. Even if I could afford to pay for everybody's registration, it goes against my morals, my religious beliefs. So while I could afford it monetarily, I cannot afford it spiritually. And you are a fucking scoundrel if you try to make me have a fucking license, registration, and insurance. I do not need those to use my property on my fucking roads. And you'll say, oh, they're not just your roads. No shit. They're my public roads, and I have a right to use them. Equal protection under the law. If the richest man can fucking use the fucking road, the poorest man can use the fucking road. If the registered man can use the road, the unregistered man can use the road. Those are maxims of law. Okay, that deals with maxim of law. These are common law knowings from fucking way the fuck back. Many federal republics back, not just this federal republic. "12-foot bamboo, totally opaque." Hell yeah. Every community feels that way, laugh out loud. Hell yeah. Oh, I know. Could you imagine passing through a community that disliked long beards? Fuck, give me the green light to punch you guys in the fucking face. Come at me, touch me, and everybody around me knows I touch back. That's why they charged me with battery upon a peace officer, because they tried to convert my defense into a crime. That deputy will forever know I touch back. That's really what they're trying to shut up, you guys. They're trying to make everybody in the county that I'm from feel that, oh no, you can't push back. Pushback is an actual protest term. Like interception in football is a football term. Pushback is a protest term. Okay, it's a protest move. You're supposed to push back. They don't want you to know that. Now, if they say you're under arrest, then put their hand on you, that's a little bit harder to defend. You have to prove that you were under unlawful arrest, because you have the right to defend yourself against unlawful arrest. But you need to be able to firmly prove that it was an unlawful arrest. Now, if they don't tell you that you're under arrest or detainment, and they just come up and put their hands on you, like they just walk from over here and just grab you, that's police brutality. They're the batterer, and you can defend yourself against that. It's not a recommended thing to defend yourself. I'm not saying defend yourself all the time. It's called pick your own battles. But that's why I did equal and opposite force. I didn't, since the deputy pushed me, I didn't just sock him in the jaw, because he would have really fucking not liked that day. You know, he might return a shoot to my chest or something if I socked him in the jaw so hard he didn't know where the fuck he was standing anymore. But the thing about it is that, so when he pushed me with his arm, I just pushed him with my arm. I said, don't push me. I didn't even actually know exactly who was pushing me at first. They came from my left, pushed me, and I said, don't push me. And then I realized, yeah, it was the deputy. It could have been Jim Basinger. It could have been Roy Nelson. The person that was standing in front of me was a guy named Davey Manhire. And he was right in front of me. I was asking him for his name and employee number. And then all of a sudden, from my left side, I got shoved. I had to take like 2 steps back. I said, don't push me. But I responded to their action with a reaction of equal force. You know, it's actually a defense, even though many people on the live video that I was on. I was recording live on Freedom from Government's live. He has over 100,000 subscribers. Like he has like over, last time I checked, he had over like 160,000 subscribers. He goes by Train Good Body nowadays on YouTube. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. He's a badass, freedom loving American, or whatever you'd want to call it. Maybe just freedom lover. It's his claim, not mine. I can just tell you what we commonly know. I can't tell you his claims. It would be dishonorable for me to try to imply his claims. It'd be dishonorable for me to try to take and force my claims upon him by acquiescence, like the tribe keeps pushing. He's searching for an answer by pushing, like, well, what if they enforce Sharia law? Because they enforced that maritime law on everybody already. Everybody's going with the legalities these days. It's all over everybody. Everybody's a radical customer. Yeah, I know, Tribe. You're right. You're fucking 100% right. There's nothing that says right now that fucking if 40 billion Muslims moved into the United States area known as the United States on Earth, that they couldn't change it to Sharia law. You better be able to fucking change. You better not fear change. You better start growing that facial covering. You better start fucking covering your hair. All that. But that's not true. That's not true. Muslims, there's radical Muslims, there's regular Muslims, it's the same with everything. We know that. It goes without saying. It's almost a fucking dunce to say, oh, well, there's good and bad and everything. Yeah, you sound like the fucking biggest jerk, dunce cap, fucking dumb fuck you ever could fucking say. Everybody knows there's good and bad in everything. That goes without fucking saying. The good part is when you purposely fucking do good and right without being forced to. Imagine fucking that, whether you're a cop or a fucking mayor or fucking some fucking president bitch that fucking thinks that he's fucking some fucking white bread asshole that fucking thinks that he can grab him by the pussy without even fucking asking because he's got money. That's called a violation of equal protection under the law. Walking around fucking grabbing people when they don't want to be grabbed, but thinking that since you got a bunch of money, you can just pay for your protection over it. That motherfucker needs to be in prison already. It's under his own admittance. Oh, but she liked being raped. She even said it herself. She liked being raped. What's the first rule about victims? You cannot consider their consent. You cannot be victimizing somebody as a bully and then say, oh, but he didn't stop me, so he must have consented. She didn't stop me, so she must have consented. No, that's not how it fucking works, Jack. You're a raper. Go to fucking prison. No, your fucking billions of dollars can't buy you out of this motherfucker. Exactly, the tribe. I pay taxes, so you have to pay taxes. That's directly against equal protections under the law. I don't give a fuck if you pay $1 million in taxes. That doesn't mean that I don't have rights just because you could pay more than me. Fuck. And that's what we're living under right now. Everybody, it just happened to San Joaquin Valley Transparency. He went to that fucking place. I can't remember. It starts with an A in California. It's not Arlington. It's a place in California that starts with an A. And San Joaquin Valley Transparency goes there and is talking to this cross guard. And this lady that's a public service agent says, are you even from, it's Arvin, California. Are you even from Arvin? San Joaquin Valley Transparency is like, do I have to be from Arvin? You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, just because I'm not from Arvin doesn't mean I don't have fucking rights in Arvin, you stupid bitch. You stupid public service agent fucking bitch. Every single one of those public service agents on that San Joaquin Valley transparency video should see punishment for violation of rights. Okay, whether it be retrained, it's called reassigned for the first offense, or terminated for the second offense. And if the offense is so egregious, criminal. If the act was criminal. Their offense isn't criminal. Their offense was like speaking cuss words when they aren't supposed to. You know, we're the people. We have a right to cuss words. They're public service employees. They can't show they need to make you like them, and they need to make me like them. So they have to be totally unbiased. They can't show bias. They can't act upon bias. They can't be biased. They can't do anything biased. They have to fucking basically shut up, perform their duty, and then when they go home at night, it's almost as if they need to fucking sneak their fucking asses home. Don't let us know where the fuck. But we already know where they live because they have to file a bunch of fucking paperwork. Like in Nevada, they have to file the ethics acknowledgement form. They have to put their address on there. They have to put their name, their address, everything. They're the ones that have to identify. They're the employees. We're the ones with rights to our person, papers and effects. They're not. And they're not slaves. They signed up for it. They swore to an oath. They gave oath or affirmation. They were sworn in. They have an obligated duty to perform. They're not supposed to be performing for financial gain. They're not supposed to be performing for private gain. That's what they're doing to me in Knight County. The Knight County public service agents are telling me, that's out of my hands. You know, you would think that you could go to the county manager, right? And the county manager could fire or terminate the, any of the employees. They're managing the county. Oh, no, that's not my office. I don't have the jurisdiction to do anything about that. You go to the sheriff's office. It was a deputy that wronged you. Oh, no, I can't make the decision on terminating them from their position. They'll give you the whole big ass runaround. The roads will be better. When I am free, I will tell you how much I love it. Oh, I know. Exactly, Christopher Real. I beat the municipality in grading drainage, mosquito harborage, fence greater than 6 feet, unlicensed vehicles and unlicensed dogs. They haven't fucked with me in over a year. Exactly, and as they should. As they shouldn't fuck with you. When I am free, I will tell you how much I love it. Oh, I know, because even though they haven't fucked with you in over a year, do you still feel fully free? Or do you feel like there's a terrorist breathing down your neck that could show up any day? Because that's how I feel. No, all ideas are equal. The roads will be better. Just look for blurred out houses on Street View. I pay taxes, so you have to pay taxes. The DMV is a gauntlet of public humiliation. Exactly. Yeah, the blurred out houses will be the public service houses, or the pedophiles that the public service agents are protecting houses. To find public servants. Exactly. I wanted to go home like yesterday, you guys. I wanted to be free to go home yesterday. I don't know exactly what I need. I do know exactly what I need. I need for the fucking justice court clerk to do the right thing and file my lawful writs so that my motion will be filed so that fucking it's already default. The district attorney already failed to state probable cause, show probable cause. The default motion has already been in. The district court clerk filed it and the district court complied. The justice court hasn't. So basically, all that has to happen is that fucking some public service agent needs to compel the fucking justice court clerk to file the writ, and boom, all the charges will be dismissed. The fucking frivolous fucking warrant for my arrest based on those frivolous, unmerited, unfoundational charges would be quashed, and the county would fucking know that Cheryl Willis Provost Guard fucking was the one that fucking stood on the square, and was the protester. I may be the protester right now, but that doesn't mean that I'm the only one that needs to protest. I'm not the only one that needs. I need help. There should be several motherfuckers of the fucking thing. It's like one of my ideas is I want to do a convoy of freedom travelers that are using their cars, and everybody needs to go to like a conference where we discuss the right to use private property. The right to use our private property on public, our right to use public. And then we can start discussing our right to travel through public and free movement. So, the discussion of travel and free movement should be like one of the last conversations. The first conversation should be the right to use private property, the right to use public property, the right to use our private property in public. And then we can start discussing travel. But then after everybody discusses this, we all go out in a line of like maybe 3 to 5 cars. If one of us gets pulled over, that person becomes the protester. They just pull over and their protest is to remain silent. They don't present nothing. They don't fucking speak nothing. They put both hands on the wheel and fucking stand there and stare forward and don't say a fucking word. And everybody else in the convoy pulls over real quick. No matter where they are, they just pull over and park next to public road. On the easement, public easement, right to use. Everybody gets out of their fucking automobile that's not pulled over and walks to the traffic stop, which is in progress, which they become protesters of the First Amendment right to record the public agents in the course of their public duties. Not only that, they start using their voice, the right to protest the public service agents in the course of their public duties. What the fucking people's voice will be used as would be to say, what did you pull our neighbor over for? This is a matter of public importance. We want to know exactly what you pulled your this neighbor over for. What is the emergency that you used your emergency flashers and you made a stop for today? And then the public service agent will probably try to obscure by trying to say like, you're not involved in this. And it's like, no, this is a matter of public importance. You're the public service agent. We're the public. And there won't be just one cop watcher. There won't be just 2 cop watchers. Hopefully there'll be 5 to 12 freedom travelers in a convoy ready to protest to the highest. The right to assemble, the right to speech, the right to free press, the right to petition. All backed by our right to religion, the right to believe that we have the right, these such rights. The radical customers will protest that conference. When they get caught, they triple down. They double down, and then when that doesn't work after a while, they have to stop because it makes them look weak. Yep. We find public servants. Everyone's an intermeddler. Remember, Ben Franklin said, "Time flies. Mind your business." And I don't think. I think that Benjamin Franklin was a guy who minded the public business. He believed in his neighbor. They would have never tried to secede from the English government if they didn't believe in their neighbors, if they didn't believe in abolishment, abolitionist freedom. They wouldn't have even stood up for each other. There would have been no revolution. There would be no shot heard around the world. Benjamin Franklin was one of the quintessential people at the time of that. That's the Paul Revere time. You know, the shot heard around the world happened around the same time. The English were coming. There had been a protest. They threw the tea into the harbor. Self-governing republic. Yeah, there is such thing as the greater good. I do believe that because they talked about this shit. They philosophized about this shit for a couple 100 years. This wasn't just an idea that came about overnight. They talked about this for a couple 100 years. They came up with the Constitution. They came up with the Declaration of Independence. They came up with the social contracts. There was many different philosophers offering their idea of what a social contract would look like prior to deciding that they would choose John Locke's social contract idea over others. But they still kept like Montesquieu and Jean-Jacques Rousseau's Thomas Hobbes ideas of social contract in mind. They kept their ideas of the philosophy in mind over the years, because what's relevant is called inherent. Like rights speak for themselves. Inherent truths speak for themselves. You know, you don't have to be. You can be a 3-year-old that doesn't know how to read and write, and if somebody knocks your ice cream cone out of your hand, you know you've been wrong. It was your ice cream cone. You were enjoying it, and somebody knocks it out of your hand. You didn't even know that was wrong, but you fucking have an instinct that knows that was wrong. It's called the self-evident truth. It spoke for itself. It's called the self-evident truth. Samuel Adams said, "Fear is proof God loves man." That'd be a badass quote. For God loved man so much that he improvised the foreknowledge, the ability to think of the idea of creating a recipe for beer. It helps with a ton of things. It helps with everything from scurvy to fucking erectile dysfunction. What, your woman's a little overweight and has a little bit too many moles? Nothing an 18-pack can't settle. I'm just joking, that might not be my truth, but that is a truth. A radical customer is somebody who loves the flag of freedom, but at the same time pays all their registration fees. That's a radical customer. A radical customer is somebody who doesn't even take the time to study the human right to water and sanitation, and at the same time pays fees for services that were already to be rendered. Today, radical customers prescribe equality and tyranny for all. Happily, yep, happily. Happily. They think that you're the retard if you don't. They think that you're the criminal, the wrong one, the oddball out, the non-normal. Hello, Skyline. I don't think I've seen you in a chat before, but thanks for being here. Happily. Are you saying happily as in you know that they do these things happily, or that you're asking a question, what does happily mean? Thanks for being here to join the chat, Skyline. Sorry for questioning your comment, but I just don't know. I don't think I've seen your comments that much around. It's weird because on YouTube I know a lot of auditors, cop watchers, activists, all this stuff, that these titles that you would want to call, but some of them don't know some of the ones I know, and I don't know some of the ones that they know. And even though I know a lot, I don't have the time in the day to visit everybody's channel. And this is what's going on with everybody on YouTube, and it's pretty weird. So for all I know, Skyline has been a subscriber of me from the very start, and I know exactly who they are, but I just don't, I'm sorry for that. I wish I could be better, but I'm not. So forgive me. I should say forgive me, please. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. And I'm ignorant about a bunch of things. There's a lot of things I wish I knew more about. There's a lot of things I don't even know anything about that I wish I knew. But that's the whole cool thing about the YouTube and the social media platform, and the cameras on every phone, a lot of them on every corner, in every room, is that we can teach each other a lot faster these days. That was pretty funny, that recent earthquake. Everybody was like, this is the biggest earthquake the world's ever seen in written history. Watch out for the tsunami and tsunami watch. Oh, we've upgraded it to tsunami advisory. When they talk about the wave getting to the shore, it's like, oh, we recorded 1 foot wave. Oh, God. Oh, God. Is this what we've been reduced to? But then at the same time, they got fucking storms that they don't even know are coming that wipe out hella shit, like what happened to North Carolina. They didn't think that they would get hit that hard when they got hit. There's evidence that the storm was fucking like seeded. So, we don't know what the hell's happening to our earth and around us, but I'm sure glad we got the cameras and the fucking media platforms that we can send news over the wire almost instantly. Slight delay. A car in every pot, a chicken in every garage. Yeah. Pants and the trousers. The tribe. Pants in every trousers. Often, too often, we willfully deny the truth. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. That was my best Jack Nicholson. Maybe that probably wasn't my best Jack Nicholson. That was a good attempt. If I was gonna do my best Jack Nicholson, I'd put on a white officer suit, act like I was a little Navy boy, and fucking really come with it. You know what's so crazy? The tribe. I'm like, I'm a walking, I'm a walking conundrum. Possibly, maybe I am weird. Maybe I am different because I'm of Irish heritage, right? And for thousands of years, let alone well, almost 2,000 years, okay, that I know of, my family has went from being kings in Ireland to being persecuted, prosecuted, and um, drawn and quartered, forced out of their country and into another country, which is the United States of America. Well, anyways, right now there's a big struggle in Ireland about too many Muslims moving in, and that they want. It's almost like they're begging to keep a white Ireland. I don't know, like a Caucasian Ireland or like a Saxon Ireland. They're looking for a Celtic Ireland. I don't know what they're looking for, but they're trying to keep the Ireland that they have, Protestant, Catholic, whatever one they want. They're trying to keep a Christian Ireland or a Caucasian Ireland, something like this. And I'm thinking, oh hell no. Well, yes, I'm part of an O'Byrne's family from Wicklow, Kildare. I do not believe in not allowing people, like I I don't know what to say about that. I'm not the arbiter. I'm not the arbiter of either side. I like the Irish heritage. I wouldn't want Islamic Muslims to move in and change Ireland into an Arabic nation. But at the same time, I'm not the arbiter. I can't tell them not to. So all my brethren, my family that are still in Ireland, they probably fucking want to fucking draw and quarter my ass just for speaking this. Want to? I'm not saying they would, but I'm just saying, what the fuck is this world coming to? It's a very weird world. I'm telling you what. Too often we willfully deny the truth. I'm convinced many are infected with a parasite that causes violent repulsion to logic and reason, to be cured against one's will, and cured of states which we may not regard as disease, is to be put on a level of those who have not yet reached the age of reason, or those who never will. Yeah, that's pretty profound. Yeah, that's why I'm really tore up right now, because I've been watching the protests over there in Ireland, and part of me says, what have we been arguing for Ireland from the English for thousands of years? If we were just going to turn around and give it to the Muslims, and you know, but at the same time, it's like, what are you? What are you, prejudiced against Muslims? You prejudice against Islam? What, brown people can't be in your country? Is it your country to begin with? What is the country actually? Is it the corporation known as Ireland, or is it the fucking people's land? Is it the island of destiny? Is it more than just Ireland? Is it bigger than a fucking parliament? Is it bigger than one king? These are fucking big questions, that, you know, C.S. Lewis, huh? What I just had an epiphany that what I'm feeling like right now might have been how the British felt when they were in the first original 13 British colonies, and they were wondering whether or not they were going to secede. Many of them probably loved England, their homeland. Maybe not the kings and the queens or the authoritarians of England, but maybe they loved England, an area of trees around Nottingham, or maybe they just loved Doncastershire or Doncaster or whatever. Maybe they really loved Scarborough. But they made the choice to go against England, secede from England, even though it meant maybe never going home again. It's fucking pretty tough. I'm telling you what. Yeah, definitely not the taxes. Shit, they loved a lot of things about England, but definitely not the taxes. Why do they pick Ireland if they won't adapt the culture? Go where you're celebrated, not just tolerated. Yeah, except for they have a right to be Islamic, and that's why. Yeah, if you want to practice Islam or Christianity, you shouldn't be like forcing it on the public through a nationality. It should not be. There should always be a separation of church and state. You're never going to get a one nation under a God, even though the Islamic God is the same as the Christian God, same as the Jewish God. They just believe in different aspects that surround the fucking shit. Yeah, no, I'm a Christian by what. The only I'm conflicted because a lot of times when I say I'm a Christian, is it only because that was the prominent religion in the area in which I grew up in? Because my mom didn't take me to Christian church, my dad didn't take me to Christian church. I took myself there. I raised myself as a Christian, so I don't know exactly if I'm even a Christian or not. That's just what I've been raised around. So yeah, I'm very conflicted, even though the story of Jesus is a good story. So, why would you go against a good story that was so profoundly good like that, of a helper, of a healer, of a savior? But at the same time, there's like Muslims or Islamic people, they believe in Jesus. They just don't believe that Jesus was like the Messiah. They believe in a one true God. They believe that God is the God and Jesus was a prophet. Peace be to Jesus. So, it's very weird. Ireland has a rare culture. It is too precious to be squandered on mass movements. Like it or not, the Christian religion is a part of American common law. Exactly. Um, Ireland. That's part of Ireland. You're exactly right. The tribe. But when it comes to like Christianity as being part of, like you could say Christianity is a part of Ireland too, but at the same time, the difference between a Protestant and a Catholic is did nothing but destroy Ireland. You know, when really Ireland is truly the island of destiny. The green, the green is green for a reason. It's there's a green there's a spiritual nature that's tied to the land through all sorts of blood, sweat, and tears. Um, yeah, that was more British. It was bestowed upon the Irish by the British. It was forced upon the Irish, the Catholic and the Protestant bullshit, and that's the truth. But since then, a lot of Ireland is another nation that's probably 80% Christian. You know, at least. Just like they say the United States is 80% Christian, it'd be the same for Britain or England is probably 80% Christian, at least. So, you know, but yeah, Christian bullshit aside, Ireland has a magic. There's a true magic. I believe that Ireland is where the original High Kings come from, and that the other lands basically borrowed and stole. There's some kind of a magic. Maybe it's Egyptian and Phoenician magic in Ireland. Maybe it's some of the first peoples that ever have known. Maybe it's a Sumerian. Maybe it's a Sumerian and Anunnaki magic. Maybe the Anunnakis are the Irish. But there's something about the property. There's something about the island that's magical. It's got destiny. It really truly does hold destiny. There's a lot of story behind it. Lore is what you're supposed to say. Geez, they endured the potato famine. Now this, yeah, yeah. This is a famine that's fucking 1,000 times worse than the potato famine. They have to somehow prove that they're able, in the name of Ireland and its cultural history, to be human rights violators. So somehow they're going to have to prove to the world that they're allowed to violate human rights in order to keep an Irish Ireland. It's or what the thought of that is. It's kind of like when the Dutch took over Africa. When safari tours would come to Africa, they forced the people to act African for the tours, so that the Dutch owned Africa, enslaved the people, and then forced the people to act African only when they had English tours down there, so that the English would get a full experience. They could leave saying that they experienced Africa. You know, it's a sick, twisted. It's a sick and twisted fucking world. I'm just telling you, we may not ever be able to get away from human rights violations, and the Ireland problem right now is proving it. What do you mean by tax shelter? Like, what do you mean? Like they were a shelter against taxes or a shelter for taxes? Fuck, life is weird. Low corporate rate. You know, they are one of the countries that have like an orange, green, and white flag along a lot of the countries that have a red, white, and green flag, as opposed to all the countries with a red, white, and blue flag. And then you got your brown, what is it? Black, white, and maroon. Those are more of the Tartarian people, I believe. Persian countries have red, white, and green, I would believe. And then fucking the uh, Federal Republic type countries have the red, white, and blue. Was Western culture. Yeah. Yeah, the red, white, and blue would symbolize a Western culture. And then on top of all these discussions, we're all lied to, so that's kind of hard to fucking even know any of our past. So can't go without saying that part. History was written by the winner, so we don't know which one of the bastards lied to us over and over again up to this point. Oh, we're talking about human rights violations and how hard it is to protest in this day and age. The people that are protesting in Ireland against what they would consider an Islamic invasion of Ireland, they're going to have to. It'd be a human rights violation to just deny people based on race, creed, or color, religion. So basically, we're going to have to figure out what we're supposed to do. There's going to be it's going to be a new age of enlightenment. It's going to need a new age of philosophy, a new age of abolishment, and a new age of enlightenment to get through this. And the people need to learn how to work together and not against each other. They need to suppress division and embrace unity somehow on all sides, not just both sides, but all sides. We are also solving differential equations verbally. Oh, definitely. Thanks to the tribe. The tribe's forcing us to solve differential equations verbally. Good on ya, bro. The tribe's like, did you just call me bro? It's like, don't ever call me bro again. Okay, I'm sorry. There's only one Earth, Stefan. And when the fictitious corporations go away, along with their borderlines, their fictitious borderlines, there will still only be humans on the only Earth that we have. So it's kind of like a public service agent in a public service building. We, the people, have a right to go in the public service building, where the public service agent is only serving for a time. They can be voted out. They can be terminated from position. You know, several reasons they can get taken from that public office. But we, the people, will always have a right in the public office. So while the public service agent thinks it's their office, no. They're just holding an office that many people could be a part and serve under. So, okay, so you are in support of Islamic migration to Ireland. That was part of our conversation on. I'm of Irish descent. I come from the family of Burns. So I have a hard time with knowing the struggle against the English that our family and friends have dealt with for um, almost 2,000 years, at least since the 400s. Um, that since the 400s, that would be only my family in Ireland, you know, struggling with English oppression. So I could say friends and families. I could say Kavanagh's, O'Toole's, um, Fitzgerald's. Several families like that have been dealing with Irish oppression for 2,000 years or more, or English oppression. But then to turn around right now, because I'm living right now, my great 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 grandpa is not living right now. So I'm seeing people, and I believe in human rights over corporate, corporate policies. So it's like the United States of America. I recognize the United States of America as a legal corporation and not a nation of law or a people. Um, the USA is a corporation. It's a corporate fiction, and it verily can be abolished by several different factors. And when those factors, if any one of those factors abolished the USA corporation, either the people would replace that corporation with another one, or the corporation would fully cease to exist, but the people would still need a home on earth. So while I love Ireland and my heritage and ancestry has been fighting for the Isle for many decades, I don't really believe in kicking Muslims out of Ireland just because they're Muslims. So if that would answer your question, that's as full as I could answer it. That was not the answer to number 4. What's number 4? Big old hairy dick inside her. Or tiny old hairy dick inside her. Maybe the dick ain't inside her ain't even old. Well, I don't know how far that we're men, or we're our men. Like my man, yeah. But yeah, if I seen you getting beaten up in a dark alley, I'd probably rush in to defend you, even if I didn't know you. So, hello, whether that be your true name, your full name, your legal name, or any name. Hello. Now we can get down to what you're here for. Hopefully, even if we don't agree, hopefully we can be inclusive of each other. So how are you guys doing? That's part of like what's going on with me and the county where I'm from. I'm not the one going to them and telling them what to do with their property. They were the ones coming to me and trying to tell me what to do with my property. I'm not the ones that was going over by their house. They're the ones that were coming over by my house. I'm not the one that was trying to force them to do anything. They're the ones that were trying to force me to do things. I'm not the one that said that I was the government set to serve them. They were the ones that said that they were the government set to serve me. Not just me, but also the public around me. So that's part of like what I want everybody to understand is that I'm as far as my relationship with the county, I'm live and let live. They're fucking demand authority, and fucking if you don't, we're going to use our county tools against you in retaliation. Well, it is not a problem of them being Muslim, but rather it is a problem of culture which you are justifiably proud of. Your fathers and forefathers fought for the Irish people, but now those Irish are being erased by those who are not of the same culture, language, religion, or even reg or religion or reg. Sorry, I can't. There's a money sign in front of that fucking. And the StreamYard puts a money sign in front of the bottom comment, which is highly annoying, and I'm sorry for that, guys. After somebody puts another comment in the chat, I'll be able to read it. Let me see. I'll put a comment in. I agree totally, Stefan. Region. Okay, thank you. No rulers. Thank you so much. I agree with Stefan on that one. That's like people coming to the United States of America. No matter what government or what people is trying to be here, hopefully they'll adhere to the constitutional foundations of a constitutional federal republic and move for more rights and never a lesser of rights, more freedoms and never a limited. Sorry, I was getting a call in case it cut out. I know for a fact I need a place one day, you guys. The United States of America, the legal system who's hijacked our nation of laws has proven to me that I need other places. When I started getting maliciously prosecuted and maliciously persecuted, retaliated against for my public performance and the stifling of my public performance, that's when I knew I needed to go to a different country. When I was being threatened, it wasn't that I was just being threatened with jail time and a lengthy legal process. I was being threatened to be gagged, bound, and medicated. I was being threatened to have my camera and other property stuffed up my ass. I was being threatened to be found in a dark alley one night while there is a dark alley behind my house. These are real credible threats that were made by public service agents in my area, public service employees. So that's why I chose to go to a different country seeking asylum for the time being until I can work out my freedom, until I can work out our freedom. Whatever, when an injustice is happening to me, and injustice is happening to all you guys, but it's kind of hard to get people to take a stand for you. So basically, it may be years before 12 good men stand in my defense over this issue. Or it might be 2 weeks. I don't know, but definitely I need somebody to remind Nye County that what they're doing to me is wrong. I have all the documentation that shows. I got a public service agent was telling me he was going to stuff my camera up my ass as he was walking at me while I was holding my camera recording him. And I was walking backwards, like basically begging him not to quit, to stop. I told him I would defend myself if he didn't stop. I was trying to warn him so that he would fucking stop, but he didn't stop. And then I barely pushed him with one hand. I was holding the camera with this hand while I pushed him with that hand, like, no, stay back. You know what I mean? And they're charging me with battery upon an elderly person. That's part of the reasons why I didn't want him to fucking be walking at me while he was telling me he was going to stuff my camera up my ass or even touch me. I didn't want him stuffing my camera up my ass, let alone even touching me. I didn't want him touching me at all. I thought he was 60 years old. Turns out the guy was like 80 years old. Public service agent, public service employee, telling me he's going to stuff my camera up my ass, walking at me all crazy, like crazy look in his eye. You can see it on my video. I defended myself, and now they have since charged me with battery upon or abuse of the elderly. And this is one of the things that hurts me is that I would never abuse the elderly. I try to help my neighbors. But anyways, I have it on video where the deputy tells the guy, the public service employee, I was going to arrest him, but what you were doing was an actual credible threat. So I have a deputy on camera, on his own body camera, telling the public service employee that was threatening me that what he was doing to me was an actual threat, and that he would have arrested me for elderly abuse or battery upon an elderly, but what that guy was doing to me was an actual threat. You see what I'm saying? So why am I still to this day being charged with abuse of the elderly for that push? It even says it in the paperwork that the paperwork that describes my charges. It says for the push at or around A Avenue in Gabbs, Nevada. It was really B Avenue in Gabbs, Nevada. And yes, I did push the guy, but that was only after walking backwards and fucking telling him to stop, and him continuing to come at me, telling me that he was going to stuff my camera up my ass. I'm going to stuff your camera up your ass. That's how he was doing me and fucking coming at me, invading my space. I wasn't walking at him. He's walking at me. I wasn't threatening him. He was threatening me. I have it on camera, the body camera of the deputy that told the guy what you were doing was a credible threat. But I'm still being charged with that. There's still a warrant over my head right now based on that as a charge. I should be exonerated by now. If there was any good apples in Nye County, surely the bad apples would be getting stopped by now from maliciously charging me for a defense. A defense that a deputy even recognized, the deputy on scene, the deputy that responded. The deputy that responded to the call told the guy that the reason why he didn't arrest me for battery upon an elderly is because what he was doing was a credible threat. But I'm still being charged. I'm still being forced. I can't go home. The warrant is only in state. It only grants Nevada law enforcement officers to arrest me. It's not. It's not a federal warrant. It's like Chile's Ironton warrant, where the only people that can arrest Chile is Ohio law enforcement officers. So Chile can't return to Ohio. That was Chile's mission. They knew it was Chile's mission. Chile wasn't going to leave Ohio. He wasn't going to leave Ironton until those tyrants fucking got this fucking, got fucking terminated from their government position for being tyrannical to that Sarah Page and several other people within Ironton, Ohio. And so what they did was they charged Chile with the first thing they could charge Chile with, and hope that he would fucking flee their malicious prosecution based on retaliation, so that they could hold a warrant over his head, and so that he could never return to Ironton, Ohio, unless he wanted to be grabbed by those basic terrorist enemies that have been enacting tyranny on Ironton, Ohio. And then it comes out shortly after Chile leaves Ironton, Ohio, that Bradley Spoljaric was selling methamphetamines and fentanyl and all sorts of shit. That possibly several of them law enforcement officers in Ironton, Ohio was doing this. Possibly even that Pam fucking even knew that they were selling meth and other fentanyl drugs. You're in the right. Hold on, I want to read Stefan's because for one, Stefan, it doesn't come down to whether he could actually perform what he was threatening. What he was threatening was a physical act, and if he even put his fucking hands on me after threatening a physical act, no. I don't have to let you touch me. Once you threaten me for a physical act, I don't have to let you touch me before I defend myself. That's why you don't want to. That's why you don't want to threaten people, because say I threatened you, Stefan, and I was standing right in front of you, and I threatened to fucking punch you in the nose. Are you gonna sit there and just let me punch you in the nose? Because I'm standing right in front of you, telling you I'm gonna punch you in the nose. No, fuck no, you're not gonna just let me punch you in the fucking nose. That would be just merely telling you that I'm gonna punch you in the nose is a breach of your peace. You're gonna instantly feel threatened. You're going to be like, no, fuck no. If you even step close to me, I'm going to fucking defend myself. That's a true breach of the peace when somebody threatens physical force on you. Whether they can actually commit that fucking act or not. They're within the fucking area. It's called within the ability. It's called an ability to make good. Okay? If there's even a perceived ability to make good, you better be defending yourself. Don't just think the guy with the gun's not going to shoot you. Oh, he doesn't have that crazy twinkle in his eyes, so he might not shoot me. I'll just turn my back on him and walk away right now. You know? No. If you have a defensive tool and you have the ability to fucking defend yourself against somebody that's trying to tell you that they're going to shoot you and they got a gun, I don't give a fuck if they actually have, what, are you going to sit there and find out that they don't have bullets? Fuck. Okay, if it is as you say it is, then why did they prosecute you? The legal system is made to prevent false charges. Yeah, you would think, Stefan Belotarkovsky. Sorry if I fucking totally butchered that, is what they call it. I guess they call it butchering it. Boloskovsky. Stefan Boloskovsky. Maybe that's what I would probably pronounce it, maybe. In no ways could he actually do what he threatened. Yeah, you do have rights, Blob. Unless you're a public service employee sworn to uphold rights, then there's an obligation, there's an assumed obligation to put your rights aside in order to uphold those of others. And it's an oath that you swore to. Nobody forced you to swear that oath or affirmation. Bilotsarkovsky. Oh, that's badass. Bilotsarkovsky. That's pretty cool. Sounds righteous. Or sounds bold, strong, and righteous is what it sounds like. I've got rights. Blah, blah, blah. I like that. Blah, blah, blah. Good name, dude. I was told by this guy I really like, after like a whole year of exclaiming my story and the injustices that are happening to me to this guy, he sat there and acted like he listened for over a year. And then fucking his ass, fair weather fucking friend all the way across the board, fucking one night we disagreed, and it had to do with fucking ICE and fucking this and that and fucking the stance I had as opposed to the stance he had. Fucking, he says, dude, nobody gives a fuck about your story, bro. Which is true. Like, I don't have to give a fuck about Stefan's story or blah, blah, blah's story. I don't have to give a fuck about any of your stories. But, I have the empathy and the sympathy and the heart to, when I say I care, I truly fucking am trying to care. You know what I mean? But yeah, this guy, he's like, fuck your story, which is true. Fuck my story. What if I could go the rest of my fucking life on this earth and fucking never be exonerated, never have my fucking rights upheld, never have my freedom restored? I could barely fuck my story, but that's not what I was hoping out of that friend. That friend was fucking, I literally looked up to this guy. He was a badass. He likes hella good music. He liked Slayer. He liked fucking Tool. He liked Primus. He liked all the good shit. You know what I mean? Everything from alternative to fucking classic rock, He's a hella good guy too, but after telling me fuck my story, after acting like he was listening to my story and fucking sympathetic to it and fucking wanted what was right for me, then to say fuck, who gives a fuck about you and your story? Oh man, it's like, yeah, sorry bro, but like, I'm not gonna sit there and fucking have a big ass argument with you, but I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking gonna just act like I never even knew you. That's all it is. Which he's probably acting like he never even knew me. All rightfully so. In this case, the man is a stupid old hag. He might have tried to instigate something, and he succeeded with that. Yeah, it's called coercion. It's where it's like when I placed my complaint with the county, hoping that the county would stop him so that I didn't have to defend myself. And the county just instead told their public service employee, "Oh, he told us he would defend himself if we didn't fucking stop you, for him. He might have to defend himself. So just keep going. We don't even give a fuck about him. If he even tries to defend himself, we'll prosecute him for something." That's called coercion. They were hoping that I would defend myself. They kept, even though in my complaints, I asked Nye County to retrain, reassign, or terminate the guy from the area where I have a right to live, that they hoped instead of reassigning the public service employee, like I wasn't asking them to terminate him. I was just asking them to employ him over in a different town or something. We'll see if he starts terrorizing that town too. acting like he's got more authority than he actually does, terrorizing the people and their rights. So basically, they didn't do that. They allowed him to keep on coming. They allowed him to keep on threatening. They allowed him to keep on harassing. They said that they apparently said, we'll just, if he even attempts to defend himself, or this is how coercion works. This is called gaslamping. This is what they were doing to me. They were applying the pressure and then hoping that I would react to the pressure, and that if I did react to the pressure, they would use my reaction as a way to fucking use it against me. This is a common tactic of a narcissist. We all know this. I shouldn't have even been responding to it, but I was protesting. I was exercising my rights like we're supposed to be able to do per the Constitution. But obviously, tyrants and criminals are in control of that Constitution right now. Hope everyone is well. Robert Wolf II. Yeah, I hope you're well too, Robert Wolf. And because you reacted in the way you did, he won. If you did not engage with him, he would not have won in any way whatsoever. Duh! He would have definitely fucking won. If I didn't engage with him outside my house, he'd keep on coming to my house over and over and over again, sending things to my house, trying to tell me how to clean my yard, trying to tell me how to keep my property. Was I the one down there trying to tell him how to keep his property? No, I wouldn't do that to a man. I wouldn't do that to somebody. I wouldn't do that to a being. I'm not here to tell people what to do with their fucking property. And because you reacted, yeah, it's like, duh. The only thing is, though, Stefan, with your wisdom that you're spitting there, which many people should heed to before ever thinking on exercising their First Amendment right to petition and protest, is that these people are not honorable. They don't give a fuck about your rights. They will violate your rights. They will violate the law. They will skirt the law. They will say it's for their own protection. So heed the words of Stefan, because that's how you keep your nose down and just keep being a compliant slave. That's how you attempt to fly under the radar. That's how you back the blue until it happens to you. But when it happens to you, it's already too late. By the time it happens to you, they had already won, even though what he's saying is true. And because you reacted in the way you did, he won. If you did not engage with him, he would not have won in any way whatsoever. And thank God to the fucking new camera systems that they have on everybody's cell phones, that I was allowed to have not only my cell phone down there, but also two fellow journalists' cell phones down there recording what happened. And even the Nye County public service employee that responded to the call even told him that what he was doing was a credible threat. So, yeah, it might appear that they're winning, Stefan. Bella Surkovsky, they are not winning. They are the ones that did wrong. Yes, they did verily coerce me. Yes, they did verily harass me and incite me to do things. And then when I reacted to their incitement, they used that against me. That's exactly what the fuck we're talking about here, bro. You know what I mean? you admitted to it only in a roundabout way instead of like freaking no rulers. I feel. He says I feel for you, man. He says you're in the right. He heard what I was saying and said I was in the right, which all you guys would be in the right to defend yourselves against the little bastard. If I was walking at you telling you I was going to stuff your camera up your ass while you were sitting right in front of me and you did have a camera, fuck. I'm telling you right now, you better defend yourself against me, because even if I don't stuff your camera up your ass, I'm putting my hands on you. That's what I was walking at you for, right? Or are you even led to believe? If I didn't want you to defend yourself against me, why was I telling you I was going to fucking do something to you? It's called an elicited reaction. If I threaten you physical force, I'm eliciting your reaction. I'm basically asking you to fucking defend yourself against me. I hope you can understand that, Stefan Belaskovsky. And thank you for being here to discuss, especially for trying to bring an adverse point of view. There's nothing wrong with an adverse point of view. Are you malicious? Perhaps you might show maliciousness, and I might have to stop being friends with you. But for right now, I'm your friend. But even then, you must have restraint, because again, in this thought experiment, he is a stupid teenager. Anyways, yeah. They were harassing me. They were threatening me. Noticed agent is noticed primary. When Knight County's agent was fucking threatening me, Knight County was threatening me, especially when I writ complaints to have their agent stop threatening me, and they flat out told me to my face that they were not going to help me. Yep, they left me no other option but to help myself. And I have video proof of that. Also audio recorded proof. One agent, Captain Berkowitz, Captain David Berkowitz, Knight County Captain David Berkowitz. He told me over the phone that he was not going to help me. That Knight County wasn't going to help me, let alone he wasn't. And then now Captain Harry Means, that Captain David Berkowitz, he pled guilty to deprivation of rights. And that motherfucker was definitely not going to help me. He could have helped me. He could have helped me in February 2000. It was between February and April of 2022. He could have told that public service agent to stop doing what he's doing. Stop coming around my home. Stop telling me he's going to stuff my camera up my ass. And stop harassing me about my yard. He could have, if he would have told the public service agent to do that, I wouldn't have ever had to protest that public service any further. That public service agent, he could have helped me out. That's what I wish that Captain Berkowitz did. I wish Captain Berkowitz helped me. It would have been such an awesomer. I would have been able. I would have been able to trust a Knight County public service employee, and I would have been able to have a better relationship with the public service employee that are in the area around the place where I have a right to live. If a person hates a politician and tweets something which might be seen as threatening, should that person be punished by the judicial system? No, that's totalitarian and it's censorship, people. There's a difference to something like that. Uh, it, if they're sending a message to somebody that they're threatening a physical force upon that somebody, and they're within they're within a striking distance. You can't be in Reno, Nevada, threatening somebody in Las Vegas, Nevada, and think that they have a plausible chance of actually carrying out the threat. Now, if that person threatening if the person was in Reno threatening the person in Las Vegas, there's no ability to make good. Now, if the person from Reno all of a sudden shows up in Las Vegas after threatening from Reno, now all of a sudden that there's an exigent circumstance. Now there's a possible ability to make good. Okay. So yes, putting out a tweet of a physical force, a threat of physical force, is not necessarily a threat. There's no ability to make good. There's no exigent circumstance. It's just hot air. But to fucking be standing right in front of the person that you're threatening physical force on, yes, there's exigent circumstances, there's an ability to make good, and that's a breach of the peace. Have a right to free speech. Exactly. I agree with you, Stefan. I am not defending him, but I am just trying to engage in all perspectives here. Yeah, see, that what he did was undefensible, Stefan. He has no defense about what he did. Yes, if I was at my house and he was in a town over and he was telling me, motherfucker, I'm gonna stuff your camera up your ass, then I'll be like, oh shit, bro. But the dude was standing right in front of me telling me he's going to stuff my camera up my ass while he's walking at me. I don't have to let him touch me, Stefan. I'm sorry. I don't even have to let him attempt to touch me. He told me he was going to stuff my camera up my ass. He's starting to walk at me. He's right in front of me. It's like I already told him no. No fucking means no. And at that point, he got within striking distance. If he would have been within strike, I'm walking backwards. He's walking forward. If he would have never came within striking distance, I would have never been able to push him in defense. You see what I'm talking about, bro? If he would have stood on that side of the road and I would have stayed on this side of the road, instead he gets out of his truck and starts walking at me. If he would have stayed in his truck, there would be no reason for me to push him. But instead, he gets out of his truck, starts walking at me, telling me he's going to stuff my camera up my ass, a threat of physical force, and then gets within striking distance. I hope you can comprehend what I'm fucking saying here. Because what I'm saying here is a fucking self-evident truth. If you never got close enough for me to push you, then how was I able to push you? If I'm not going at you and you're going at me, so all you had to do was stop, dude. All you had to do was stop. But you couldn't stop because your ego. You thought you were so fucking funny and cute. Telling me how you're going to stuff my camera up my ass. Bitch, I could have broke you 3 days to Sunday if nobody was around. As soon as you told me you were going to stick my camera up my ass, I could have fucking took you down through there so fucking hard, busted your fucking old 80-year-old ass into oblivion. You'd have got more than a fall on the ground and a scrape on your arm. Little bitch ass boy. You understand what the fuck I'm saying? I've already won those. I've already won that, Stefan. There's obscuranting. The Justice Court clerk. I filed a motion of default. The statute of limitations was 10 days by Nevada procedure. The statutorial procedure of the state of Nevada, the agency known as, is 10 days from the time you file a motion to the time that they're supposed to respond. Well, I did the honorable thing and I gave them 15 days, 5 extra days than the state of Nevada asked for. They failed to respond. Therefore, they defaulted. Therefore, I had four charges in justice court and 1 charge in district court. The district court clerk filed my motion lawfully, like she was supposed to, and the justice court clerk lodged my motion instead of filed my motion. She lodged my motion in my file instead of filing my motion with the court, which is a crime. She's not supposed to make those decisions. She's a ministerial role. She plays a ministerial role. So basically, as soon as my motion to compel goes through and the district court acts on honor, compels the lower court to file the motion, the case is dismissed by summary judgment. Therefore, the warrant for my arrest, which lacks for charges that lack foundation and probable cause, would therefore have grounds to be quashed. There are no lawyers in the United States, Stefan. Bullet Surkovsky. The only thing that the United States has right now, due to the legal system that's hijacked the nation of laws, is state bar licensed attorneys. They still attempt to try to call themselves lawyers because they're keeping the foolery going. But I have a video on my channel. Hey, Beth Rist, good to have you here. Honor to have you, actually. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. You know, you don't have to give a fuck about me. But obviously, thank you for coming here to say, hey. Beth Rist is an ex-cop, I believe Ironton cop, who chose to become a whistleblower, which is a very brave motherfucking thing. Whistleblowers are some of the whistleblowing is a form of protest that is some of the most dangerous form of protest. Okay? There's simply protesting, and then there's whistleblowing as a form of protest against corruption, tyranny. And it's some of the most dangerous form of protest that you can engage in is whistleblowing. That's why I know exactly what a whistleblower is and what the thoughts they have to go through to make the determination on whether they're going to buck the system. It's just like what Stefan is trying to talk to me about. Hey, bro, you didn't even have to react. You should have just acted like nothing was happening, even though it was happening. You let them win by reacting to their harassment. I had to make the conscious decision, Stefan, to fucking whistleblow against their harassment, against what they were doing to me. When I made that fucking conscious decision, I had to make that conscious decision knowing that this government agency may retaliate against me, choose to stifle my public participation, violate my rights, and fucking, who knows, worse. They threatened to bind, gag, and medicate me. They were telling me I was being difficult just for trying to assert my rights. Do you have a driver's license? I'm not employed to be. I'm not employed in a capacity that I would need a driver's license. And no, I do not have a driver's license. For one, I'm not a driver. I have the right to use my own private property. I have a right to use my public. I have a right to use my property in public. Equal protection of the law guarantees that. If you can afford to pay a registration to use the public, like you shouldn't even have to because it's already a right, it's already your right to use the public. But if you can afford to pay a registration and you choose to do so, that doesn't mean that I don't have a right to use the public not being able to afford to pay a registration. It's called equal protection under the law. Many don't fucking understand the concept. Donald Trump and his billions wasn't ever supposed to be able to beat. The richest man in the world is not supposed to be able to beat the poorest man in the world just by paying money or taxes in order to beat them in court. You know, you're not supposed to be able to pay for a better lawyer than the next guy. Equal protection under the law. The law is set to speak for itself. Self-evident truths. Even if I could monetarily afford a registration, I can't morally afford a registration. It goes against my beliefs. Hey, what's the matter, you? Your phone died, huh? Got back, huh? Good to see you. You're definitely a brother, Channel. You've been candid with me. You've been honest and true. You've held intimate conversations with me about our personal, our private lives. I care about our friendship. There will never be a U-Haul behind a hearse. You cannot take that with you. Everybody's grave is the same size, same depth. Exactly, Beth Wrist. Exactly. It's the Sermon on the Mount. I believe it starts in Matthew 5 and goes to like, I can't remember which one it goes to. I think it goes to like Matthew 31 or something or more. Or like, I'm not sure. But I think it starts on Matthew 5, the Sermon on the Mount. You know, when I read that, as a kid, all of a sudden, I couldn't exploit my talents. I knew I was going to be frugal. I knew that even if I could afford to be luxury, I wouldn't pay for it. That I would probably use, if I was ever a billionaire, I'd probably use the money helping people out instead of, I would get a couple of things that I always wanted, but $1 million houses, no. I might start a goat ranch with $100,000 investment and then build the fencing and the proper, like the housing and the the grounds, and then flip my goat ranch that I built for 100,000 for $1 million after I've stocked it with goats and made the whole ranch turnkey. And then somebody with $1 million that wanted a goat ranch, they would be boom, right there, turnkey. kind of like a 67 Camaro, built and ready for you. All you got to do is pay $60,000, $90,000. I'll never afford a 67 Camaro built to be worth $60,000. Even though it'd be an awesome dream to have one. And I can drive like a motherfucker. Drive. See, we've all been taught to use these terms. They put a D on the fucking automatic shifter. I like manual transmission myself, but most of the cars these days are being forced into automatic transmission, and then they put a D on there so that fucking people are like, I put it in drive. I must be driving. I prefer 5 million and up. Hell yeah. 1 million is so ghetto. Fuck yeah. You know, in this day and age, you know. That's why I'm telling everybody that sues the government right now, fuck, they just offered like a $67 billion fucking deal to ICE's dumbass. If you fucking sue right now, we're talking billions. Fucking millions is so 1975. You know, fucking Oprah Winfrey has 16 billion. Fucking what's your fucking freedom and your fucking life worth? People suing because their family member got killed by the cops for fucking 12 million, 4 million, 3 million. It's like, no. Fucking, I looked up the state of Nevada. They're worth 27 billion. Those motherfuckers are getting copped for 1 billion at least. I don't know. There's a mind job. There's a mind, if you're talking about an over-the-counter job, an actual contracted fucking legal employment, and not a lawful compensation for your labor. There's a mine there. You could be a government position. You could be a mine worker, or you could work in like a construction or landscaping field. Yeah, definitely. New shoes, stuff like that. Yeah, fucking real expensive, truly expensive clothes, which is not expensive at all, would be like going into the forest and popping your own fucking deer and then making buckskins. That would be my ideal, but there'd be some fucking government bitch trying to tell me that I'm not supposed to fucking pop deer for buckskins. Try to take my buckskins away from me because I didn't fucking ask Big Brother for it. Didn't pay the king. If we are unable to control simple aviation, how can we trust flying cars? Major malfunction and human beings are simply collateral damage. Yeah. Shit, we may not even get off the ground with flying cars before those AI robots take our fucking asses out like we never even fucking were a blimp on the screen. You know? We think we're so special. That's why they need their fucking underground tunnels so that they can fucking sick their fucking AI robots on us. Everybody up on the surface of the earth will be fucking subject to fucking getting mutilated and turned into fucking bio mush. Texting undid car safety. Texting did. Planes are safer than cars. Don't take my buckskins. Fuck yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome to fucking I always wanted to start with like a glider, and then get a what are the like a one of those small planes, like the home built fucking experimental fucking. I can't think. I know the exact name of this type of plane. Ultralight. Ultralight. Yeah. Sorry. I almost. Yeah. I always wanted one of those ultralights. When I was a child, shit. Before I was the age of 9, I actually wanted to be a cop. Right. And then cops kind of ruined that for me as soon as I started skateboarding. They started trying to arrest me in the early 90s for skateboarding. That's when I knew I didn't really want to be a cop. And then I always wanted to be in the military, but I always wanted to be like a Navy SEAL or a F-15 fighter jet pilot. And yeah, I could have been very good at both, but there was something that happened to me along the way from childhood to uh, adult where I no longer wanted to. I couldn't fathom myself working very hard, striving, trying to be that fucking perfectionist, basically for a military position or a government position, and then have somebody always there to try to take it away. You know. It's all plus on top of it. It wasn't just that. It was. But I always knew like I turned 18 in 99 or 2000. I mean, I turned 18 in 2000, and what happened? War started in 2001. I always knew that was going to happen. I was thinking, yeah, as soon as I get draft age, they're going to start some big war, and it seems like they do that for every generation. But no matter how old, no matter how what generation you're in, but there was things like Christianity that stopped me from being successful. The way I perceive myself mentally and physically, my morals, you know, all that shit. Being a good cop stems entirely from character and integrity, in my opinion. Yeah, I would say too, Beth Risk, but at the same time, um, people that are threatened do some pretty crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like, say you always wanted to be a really good cop that was always standing on the side of right, truth, and justice. And then all of a sudden, not even in the briefing meeting, not even in the fucking main meeting, maybe fucking 3 bastards stop you in the hallway and it's like, no, you're gonna fucking do this shit, or either you're gonna lose your job or you're gonna fucking get caught in crossfire, or however the fucking threat is. But then the people they're like, oh fuck, this is shit I can't even take home. I better fucking do what they say or quit. Shit. You might have to go into a witness protection program and quit. It's not like you can go anywhere. It's a brotherhood. They all the departments. They got bolos across the departments that you don't even know they got bolos. They're fucking tied in way more than we think that they're tied in. I just saw Cameron Wilson get pulled over the other night by this female cop, and she comes up. She must have come up behind him because when the video starts, it's Cameron Wilson, power inherent in the people. when his video starts, he's getting out of his car, and the cop has the red lights, the blue lights flashing, red and blue flashing already, and she's like ordering him to come back somewhere over there by her car, sit on the bumper or something, and a conversation starts up where he starts saying that this wasn't a stop, that he'd come down the street, pulled into his driveway, got out of his car before she even came up behind him and turned on her lights. Only the car camera, the dash camera starts when they turn on their lights. The dash camera automatically turns on, so we'll be able to tell when he gets the dash camera footage whether or not she was behind him the whole time and pulled him over, or whether she just came up behind him while he was already parked in his driveway and then threw on her lights. Well, anyways, she has this whole conversation with him as if she doesn't know who the fuck he is. And then when other cops arrive on the scene, she's telling the other deputies, "Oh, he's not. He's remaining silent, or he's not talking." And then she says something like, "He sounds like Cameron Wilson." Or he sounds like Cameron is what she said. She didn't even say Cameron Wilson. She said Cameron. She announced him on a first name basis to her colleagues while he was locked in the back of a cop car and they were having a fucking personal conversation. She knows who the fuck he is. She was probably waiting down the fucking street, waiting for his car to pass. And as soon as his car passed, pulls out behind him. I bet you she was on the radio with fucking other cops that, you know, Cameron's going down the road just thinking, oh, there goes a cop on fucking A Street nonchalantly. But really that cop on A Street makes it look like he didn't see Cameron. Radio's ahead. Yeah, he's on his way eastbound towards his home. And then she's waiting down the street from his home. And as soon as he passes, she jumps out behind him. Then he runs down the street and pulls in his driveway and jumps out of the car before she even has a chance to get down the street and get in behind him and fucking throw on her lights, because they've been stalking him. He's Cameron Wilson. He's making hell of big fucking headway. He's proving that fucking our rights to travel, our rights to use, our rights to fucking be free are our rights. And they're fucking stalking him. They're using their cop fucking shit and they're stalking the fuck out of him. Are you familiar with democratic liberalism, individualism, and consumerism? I'm not sure about all that, bro. It sounds like a bunch of isms that I'm not really. I'm more of a natural character. I don't really try to conform to an ism. I believe those three concepts in American society have perfected slavery. Nah, probably have. The perfection of slavery is called documentation. In the 1800s, under the what's known as the slave codes, it's known as what's the law? It's not de jure. It's the law. The slave codes was known as a law. A certain type of law. Well, anyways, they implemented registration amongst the slaves to limit the rights or the free prosperity of a free, otherwise free people. Basically, slaves would be free if they weren't registered and documented, permitted, therefore limiting their own prosperity. If you don't have the right to profit off your own fucking labor and your own property, then you're a slave, plain and simple. So basically the documentation, the registration, license and insurance, all that fucking registrations, that's slavery. Your phone is your best friend and or your worst enemy. Yeah, it is. It's both. The cameras, they for all we know, we could be getting away with shit because they could be even more violent to us. Oh, you're recording? Boom, boom, boom. beat us up fucking worse. But the only problem with that is that just because they beat us up for our individual camera, they don't know that a building is recording them. Somebody might come out of the woodwork with a fucking recording of them beating us up for our camera from like 100 yards away, something like that. That happened in Florida. I can't remember the dude's name. He basically he had a green shirt on. He was a black guy. He was walking across this kind of like park area. It looked like it was like a grassy area with trees. The recording came from like 100 yards away, but up until then, up until this recording came out, the cops had already written their narrative, their report, and they said that he had a gun. But the camera from 100 yards away showed them drop the burner gun on the guy's body. I think his name was Walter Scott. Might have been Walter Scott, Walter something. It was a Florida man, black man. It happened somewhere back around 2012, 2013. Maybe 2014, somewhere in there. Walter Scott, I believe his name was. It was more likely the flock of cameras watching that tipped them off. Peer pressure and everyone armed, not good. Yeah, exactly. Hostile work environment, high percentage of fired employees return, resulting in shootings and deaths. Exactly, probably does. All sorts of a stressful environment. That's what the United States has become. Thanks to law enforcement. They don't think that they're public service employees. They think that they're law enforcement. When law enforcement is the title of nobility, their true government title is nothing more than public service employee, first and foremost. They're running around masquerading as law enforcement or sergeant, maybe mayor, dog catcher, when all they really are is public service employee, nothing more, nothing less. They're getting away with their agency titles instead of their government titles. And not enough Americans know to call them out on it, so they get away with it. They're like, why would we not have immunity? Police officers have immunity, but government employees don't have immunity. What is it called? Public service employees. Public service employees have ethical standards that they have to adhere to, not immunity. But police have immunity. Law enforcement has immunities. If they were going by their true title, which was public service employee, they wouldn't be able to act for private gain to claim an immunity. Claiming an immunity would be an act of private gain for agent or agency. And that would be an ethical no-no that they could be terminated from their position over. Now, if a lot of Americans knew this, but no, they're like, dude, who's going to enforce that, dude? Or anything else. How about some good cops like Beth Rist is talking about? Ones that are acting on honor and all this stuff. How about fucking the civil rights attorney on YouTube? That guy over in Virginia claiming to be the civil rights lawyer or whatever. Michael Eline, he's another quote unquote attorney. Hey, bro, how about you set your bar license aside for a second and start upholding rights? Michael Eline will often tell you, I don't have a license. I have a license in Texas and California, so I can't be the counsel for Lane Myers. I can't defend Lane Myers in a court of law in Arizona. I only have a license to practice law in Texas and California. It's like, bro, yeah, you're a real lawyer, right? Fucking putting your license to practice law over the rights of the people. That's why I can't be a lawyer, motherfucker, because I don't give a shit if I'm not licensed in Oregon. I'm gonna fucking try to defend my fellow people to the best of my abilities, fucking with every fucking thing that I can, including standing in a court of law on their behalf as their true counsel under the Sixth Amendment. Their right to counsel of their choice. If it wasn't of their choice, then why would it be a right? If the Sixth Amendment says that you have a right to counsel, shouldn't that counsel be of your choice? If you can't choose the counsel that you want, how the fuck is it your right? Yeah, they do. They hate critical thinkers. You cannot have an objective mind to their tyranny whatsoever. If they say quit resisting, they do that because their body cam picks that up. Even if you don't resist, exactly. Get a group of 5 friends and fucking each of you lay down for a time while 5 of you hold each other down and tell me if you can resist. Put 6 friends fucking doing this to the wrist. One hand holding onto the wrist right here, and one hand holding onto the top of the hand, forcing the palm towards the fucking forearm. That'd be one person holding one arm, and then have another person holding the other arm in the same fashion at a 90-degree angle up over the back while they're prone on their belly. While somebody's kneeling on the shoulders or on the back of the mid back, while two people, a person is kneeling on each thigh, and then one person is holding down the feet, and one person is holding down the head, kneeling on the skull. Have those 6 people hold you down and then tell me whether you can fucking resist. You can't fucking resist if you wanted fucking to. Let's not forget that Manifest Destiny, slavery, and the KKK, the arbitrary imprisonment of Japanese, to name a few, all happened under this Constitution. Yeah, but they didn't happen under the Constitution, the tribe. Yes, the Constitution was supposed to be enacted during those times, but they acted legally, not lawfully. They acted on code, statute, or fucking policy. They skirted the actual constitutional law, and they did so under guise of their agency whim. That wasn't in the name of the Constitution. That was suppress the Constitution. Yes, it's supposed to be enacted, but we're a legal system, not a nation of laws. The Constitution consists of a nation of laws. The legal system overrides that. The legal system doesn't even fucking mention the Constitution. Not of the United States of America, maybe of a state constitution, one they can try to use to subvert the law of the land. Exactly, Christopher Real. Christopher Real, Beth Rist is the ex-Ironton cop that turned whistleblower. I give her hella props. I think she's awesome. When Chili first showcased Beth Rist, I was kind of critical of her. But after so long of her talking and speaking to Chili, I realized, and then even after Chili left Ironton and fucking Beth Rist made her own channel and was speaking out constantly still, that was when I was right. Yeah, Beth Rist is a true activist. She's a true whistleblower. She's trying to showcase the tricks of the of her once trade. You know? And it's like I said earlier, fucking it's a given to say not all cops are bad. You know what I mean? But that's not That's not the truth. All cops are bad until they prove that they're good. You know, basically these days, um, there's good and bad in every group. Is what I was saying earlier. It's like, yeah, that goes without saying. Dunce caps, the biggest fucking nerds in our fucking peer groups, exclaim, "There's good and bad in everything." It's like, duh, there's good and bad in everything. That shit goes without fucking saying. Now show me the fucking good. That's what the fuck we're here for. I wasn't here for you to show me that there's good and bad in everything. I'm here for you to show me the fucking good. You know what I mean? Shit. We're trying to limit our standards here. We're here to fucking find the good. We're not here to fucking, oh yeah, you know, the bad ones can get away with being bad because there's good and bad in everything. You just got to accept that. You just got to expect that. You just got to live with it. It just is what it is. What it is. You know, those fucking people are perpetuating evil. Yeah, Christopher Real is one of the smartest motherfuckers I know. He's awesome. I'm not sure if he's a grandmaster at chess yet, but I think he is. No, compared to my ass. I think we played like 5 times, and I got to a draw one time, but maybe he let me have that draw. More precisely, there is variation of quality in all occupations, some more than others. Exactly. The reason why I made this live tonight because I was thinking, you know, if I went after a bunch of people's family members and friends, people would hate me, dude. They would fucking try to get rid of me so fucking fast. And that's why I don't understand where's this Trump logic? Like, why would Trump openly and honestly go after people's friends and family without realizing that, bro, that creates hate? People are gonna do nothing but want to get rid of your motherfucking ass. You start going after people's friends and family. Okay, so you can't tell right now because you think that they're like a less desirable people, that they might not even have friends or family, that they're poor, broke, and desolate. But I'm telling you, Trump, it's not fucking wise to go after people's friends and family because you might get away with it for a while, but you might step on the wrong fucking, you might poke the wrong fucking bear, and people will do nothing but want to get rid of your fucking ass. You're not gonna make it long being exclusive. You know? Yeah, they fucking got off on slaughtering the Native Americans, what they considered Indian. The people of the land, they got off on slaughtering the people of the land. Whether they're Aboriginal fucking Australian, US, Irish, Tartarian. They wiped Tartarian off the map. They fucking there's evidence that there was a such place as the Tartaria, but you have to go searching for that evidence. They basically wiped Tartary off the fucking map. They tried to expel it from all the history books. That's that's probably the biggest genocide that we know of. That's the one genocide that fucking people hardly even know about. I like Canada. I like all my friends in Canada. Since this new Trump shit, where Trump was saying that they were going to make Canada the 51st state, I have many friends in Canada that don't agree with that idea. So basically, if fucking, I was born in Utah. I guess that's a United States of America state. So I must be a United States of America. But I'm telling you right now, if you slap my fucking Canadian friends across the face, you're going to expect me to fucking like it? No. Touch my Canadian friends and you're touching me. That's kind of how I feel about Canada, Beth. Hell yeah. I ain't never had no Canadian, honey. No, I can't say that because I had BC honey up in Washington State. You know, when I lived in Tacoma, uh, I had some BC honey from British Columbia, Canada. It's just right across the fucking way, you know. That's what's so badass about living in Washington State. You take a little ferry ride across the Sound, and you're in BC. You know, it was hard living in British Columbia, Canada. I mean, British Columbia, Canada. Sorry, that's my dyslexia. It was hard living in Washington State because uh, ever since I was a little kid, learning about the Puget Sound. The first time I learned about the Puget Sound in like fifth grade, it was fourth or fifth grade. I had a beckoning call for the Puget Sound. It was like the Pacific Northwest was just like drawing my soul towards the Puget Sound. And then it's weird because I've always been like suicidal. I've never wanted to be suicidal. It just is like I suffer with chronic depression, anxiety, and stress. So like I'm not wanting to be suicidal, but the thoughts have come to me since as early as 3 years old. So while I was up there in Tacoma, right there at the Puget Sound, right there in the beauty, the nature, and all that stuff that I was looking forward to my whole entire life. Also, the Tacoma Narrows Bridge was right there. You know what I mean? You can many people commit suicide at the Tacoma Narrows Bridge. It's like a taboo thing that hardly nobody talks about. You know, you don't want to just sit there and talk about how many people jump off the bridge. You know, that's all I'm saying. Life is very tough. You know, especially like when you know none of this shit is funny. None of this shit is a joke. This shit is tough. We want to be fucking kind to each other as far as I'm concerned. You know, if I was like set in the position, if I was set in the role of president today, my one executive order that I could think of right now is that the Bill of Rights was the only thing that was supposed to be upheld upon the people, not enforced upon the people, upheld upon the people, and that all statutes, codes, policies that have to do with the state or maybe the federal codes was only to be enforced upon the public service employees. And that would probably be my first. That would probably be my first, if not only, executive order that they actually uphold Title 18, Section 241 and 242 upon the public service employees. That they actually uphold 5 CFR 2635.101 upon the public service agents, employees, that they actually uphold the statutes against the public service employees and never against the people. The people are supposed to be free to enjoy their rights, privileges, and immunities, almost as if those three were one. There would be no difference between a right, a privilege, or an immunity, not when it has to do with the people. The public service agents, yeah, sometimes they can have some rights, but highly limited rights. Like they can say some stuff, but not anything that they want. Their privileges, yeah, they might get a couple privileges, but only limited privileges. The immunities, yeah, they might get a couple immunities, but always limited immunities. But the people, they would retain all rights, privileges, and immunities at all times. Anytime that there was a violation of one of the rights, privileges, and immunities of the people, there would have to be a due process mediation where both parties came away from that court process winning. That there wasn't one party being subjected to liability while one party was protected. No, both parties would be protected, whether or not one party had to serve a certain amount of time or fucking compensate a certain amount of labor, you know. But that was what I would enact if I was a president. It would go back. Not like fucking Donald Trump setting us back 400 years fucking with racism and bigotry. But back to the Constitution of true federal republic. I was arrested in Mexico, and they asked me for my ID. I said no, I don't have an ID. So they took me to the jail, right? Not for not having an ID, but just for. I wasn't even arrested for anything in Mexico. I was just walking down the sidewalk. I just got done eating at Burger King, and they must have been crooked cops trying to fill a quota because they basically pointed you, and you on the fucking public sidewalk and took us to jail, which is highly unconstitutional, which is highly against our rights in Mexico. But the thing about it is that when I was in jail, they took me directly before a magistrate. I was only in jail for like an hour to 3 hours before I was before a magistrate. I told them what had happened, and basically they imposed a fine. They were going to try to impose a 5,000 peso fine, but I told them I don't have fucking 5,000 pesos. Sorry. And they had me pay 2,000 pesos, which was basically quite a lot for what I have. I don't have much, you know. So, hey, great meeting you too, Beth. Great talking to you anyways for this long. It's the longest we've ever talked outside of a conversation over comments. Nice. Really an honor to have you on my live chat. Look forward to seeing you again if I ever decide to go live again. USA is the only country that changed the flag and barely anyone noticed. Exactly. I might get out of here, you know, because I've said enough, I think, and I came up here to talk about you would not leave this country at this time. I'm different. I would actually get the hell out of that country fucking as soon as possible before you get labeled as a Nazi sympathizer for fucking putting up with their human rights violations. You know, before you get taken in as a fucking, you know, as soon as they get when they round up one group of people, they're gonna have to. There's the natural progression, Beth, is to round up a different group. So it'll be what they legally by their corporation consider illegal aliens that they're rounding up now. After they round up everyone, then they don't have no more illegal aliens that they consider to round up. Then they're going to go after maybe the poor or the sick, maybe the Second Amendment rights because there's an agenda across the United States to get rid of the people's guns. Because if they get rid of the people's guns, then they can truly overtake the people with ease. So, it might be the Second Amendment rights by advocates might be the next roundup. I'm not sure, but I don't want to be a part of any of it. It's all dehumanizing of rights until all was lost. Against ever allowing even the smallest example of it was their greatest fear, and they correctly predicted that if ever allowed to stand unopposed, then it would lead to a steady degradation of the Bill of Rights until all was lost. Exactly what's the matter, you? Fuck. You couldn't be more logical, and that's, it's a learned knowledge. But some of these people out here, they're not fucking thinking past their nose, The government told them that the fucking Hispanics were taking all their jobs and their tax dollars. It's like, for one, you shouldn't be fucking paying taxes to even give a shit. For two, you should never be fucking signing a contract for indentured servitude for any over-the-counter job. You should always be working under the counter lawfully with a right to be compensated for your own labor. So, it's all bad. It's all bad. The rights have been subverted so bad that fucking people think it's right to fucking subvert rights. Hate is a thought behavior. We are not born with hate. Exactly. Talk soon. You are great. Thank you, Beth Riston. Exactly. Totally agree. Hate is a top behavior. Yeah, is a top behavior. Okay, they love warring against the homeless. Exactly, Christopher Real. Did I tell you, Christopher Real, that Nye County got a new county commissioner? And I was hoping he's all, oh yeah, there's corruption in Nye County and everything. I was hoping I could tell him my story and he would actually move to fucking exonerate me, make them stop. But then come to find out, he fucking in May, he fucking was like the proponent leader on making a bill, like a little ordinance that fucking criminalizes the homeless in Nye County. Enacted in May. They actually passed it. He fucking championed the fucking code, and they even passed the code into fucking their ordinance. So now if you get caught sleeping at the park or something, you can go to fucking jail for it. What kind of fucking shit is that? Don't we have the right to use the fucking park? It's the public park. I mean, if you get tired, the fucking county, the public easements, like a park or like a roadside, maybe a fucking wooded fucking what is that? Like the national park? Those are for resting, You can't be expected to fucking travel down the road all the time. You have to have a place to rest. That's why a fucking honorable, good fucking country provides public areas to rest in. Some people's travel is longer than others. Yeah, you might just be going to fucking Texas, but I'm fucking going all the way to fucking eternity. I chose to be homeless. I've acquired everything in my life. Almost every single fucking thing that I own, I acquired. I traded a couple things. I bought very few of the things that I own. and I own it. I love my things just as much as somebody that paid $60,000 for their things. My mom gave me my Chevy truck, bought it from my brother-in-law, and then gave it to me. It's a $1,500 fucking. It was wrecked before we bought it. Somebody in Utah slid it in a snowstorm into a fucking one of those little metal poles that are filled with concrete. Ripped the entire door down. Ripped the fucking body off of the fucking 4-inch lift, and then slammed it back down on only one corner of the bed of the cab. The cab sits down 2 inches on the back right side. The cab isn't even fucking secured on 4 corners. But I love that fucking truck. It means more to me than if I paid $90,000 for a brand new Chevy. It means more to me. It's got more sentimental value to me than a fucking $90,000 Chevy truck that if I worked hella hard for and paid for it, it wouldn't even mean as much to me than the truck that my mom gave me. You know? What, am I fucking supposed to be a fucking punk ass mama's boy that fucking, oh dude, you're a joke, bro. Your mom gave you your truck, oh you pussy. It's like, no, motherfucker, I love my motherfucking mom, no matter how much shit you fucking talk, bitch. You know what I mean? Yeah. USA doesn't have to go bankrupt, though. Maybe morally bankrupt with an agenda, I would say, because they print as much money as they want. They don't have to go bankrupt. They're in charge of the fucking printing press. They're in charge of the mint. There's nothing in the USA corporation that can bankrupt. The only thing that they can bankrupt is their moral minds, their human moral mind. Otherwise, they print up as much of that tax money as they fucking want. They don't even need your taxes. They just trick you into thinking that they need your taxes. If everybody in the United States didn't fucking go to fucking work tomorrow and for the next year, they would still have fucking, 15, $20 billion at the end of the year to give to fucking Israel. If not a single living soul in the United States of America paid taxes for an entire year, they would still be able to lend every fucking country on earth the lendings that they lend them, because they print as much of that fucking money as they want while fucking reaming it down your fucking throat that there's some sort of inflation, that's why you have to fucking pay $12 for a carton of eggs. It's like, no, motherfucker, all you have to do is make the fucking carton of eggs a penny. But you won't fucking do that because it's not about fucking greed. It's not about monetary value. It's about fucking a belief system that they're the fucking ones that print up the fucking money and make the rules. I love the trees and the forest in the United States, but I really hate the corporation and some of the fucking people that call themselves citizens, mind warped into fucking believing that they're so fucking proud. I stopped talking to my mom and dad. Yeah. Only thing I talk to my mom about is love, bro. I don't really talk to her about. I hardly talk to her about my activism. She knows exactly what I'm doing, and she thinks I'm right. She knows I'm right, but I don't really talk to her about it because she's different. My mom married a cop. Her favorite shows are Blue Bloods, CSI, Chicago Fire, stuff like this shit, these first responder shows. Oh, they're so fucking hero, the Blue Bloods show showing parts where if Joey didn't break the law to if Joey didn't violate somebody's rights to fucking stop the guy he had to violate the rights in order to stop the guy. It was for the best. He had to, fucking straight up brainwashing the citizens of the fucking through Hollywood entertainment to show Blue Bloods, make people think that fucking the Shield is something honorable. The Shield. Yeah, those guys are real fucking cool, aren't they? Fucking that dude on the Shield, that show The Shield, that bald guy. He's always fucking doing something corrupt, but it's like, no, I'm close to mom. I haven't spoken to father. He's a cup sucker too. Yeah, I feel you, what's the matter you? But inflation only comes from one place, printing money. It's a hidden tax if they took it. Okay, Christopher. Christopher said they not talk to mom and dad. I thought you misread my chat. Oh no. Oh yeah. No, I know Christopher real. He said he stopped talking to mom and dad, and then I went on to reading yours about how you're close to mom and haven't spoken to father. Yeah, that's local government makes sure any funding from state and federal goes to them. Shitloads of money. Yeah. Yeah. Any mindless slave dollars that the people believe are supposed to be paid forth, the local government makes damn well sure that those local people are so fucking frightened that they have no other choice but to pay it, and therefore legitimize the belief that the tax dollars have to be paid in the first place. So they take our shit to control us, period. Yeah, exactly. Hey, you guys, I'm going to get going. I love all you. Everybody that came to talk, thank you. Thank you for the adversity from Stefan. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that back and forth. I enjoyed all the people that were fucking, non-adverse, that had, I liked all the logic of all the conversation. I loved it. Thank you for being here on my live to chat with me today, you guys. If they took the money as an outright tax, people would revolt. But it's the same thing when they print money and cause inflation. It's just hidden. Yeah. It's just being hidden. It's naturally hidden within its own. It's yeah. Yeah. Much love. If anybody from Nye County administration or sheriff's department is watching right now, all you had to do was protect me. Seek my videos where I had it on recording that the dude was threatening to stuff my camera up my ass, and then stop him from doing that. And I would have been have nothing but praise. I wouldn't have never had to protest Nye County once. I would have been telling all my friends in the advocacy group, man, yeah, that fucking California, those Vallejo cops are pretty bad. But man, Nye County, bro, it's a fucking they're a badass agency. They did nothing but stand up for my rights. But I can't fucking tell you guys that that's what they did. No, they didn't do that at all. They fucked me up. They're fucking me up hard. They're winning so bad in an evil way. And that's all I got to say about that. Peace.